As a friendly reminder, Frequency Studios, Wrangler, Trippy Soul, Never Evermore, the Lord, I know I mispronounced that, the Lord Otter, and Raid Out Productions. We are not medical physicians. We are not doctors. We are not giving medical advice. Proceed.
That's right. I'm an otter.
Exactly. Do you want an otter giving medical advice?
And I am the personification of tinfoil hat.
And I'm a bird.
I do
We have
way
a
too many
bird,
drugs.
we
You
got
don't
an
want to listen to
otter.
me.
Greetings, salutations, and other big words. My name's Ethan. My handle is Wrangler. Welcome to Frequency Studios. Another weekly wing it, number 41. And starting off with us tonight, Read Out. Read Out, how you been?
Reenacting is one great trap. To be a good reenactor, you must love the hobby. To be a good at your historical impression, you must be willing to pay a lot of money for that hobby. We do not fear our own debt, you and I, but there comes a time we never quite prepared for so much money to be gone. Oh, we do expect the occasional empty space on the roster to salute to divorced or henpecked comrades, but as hobby goes on and the settler prices get ever higher, we are prepared to spend some of our money, but we are never prepared to spend all. And there is the great trap. When you reenact, you must hold nothing back. You must commit yourself totally. Or something like that. I didn't write that. That's a meme from us living historians.
But I think a lot of cosplayers can really relate to what you're saying there.
Absolutely.
Not me, man.
Stormcrow, how you doing, man?
I'm now inspired because
Well,
I
hold on,
was dour.
let's see that new avatar here.
You like it?
Interesting.
You see the power, the majesty in this?
Behold!
This, my friend, this, my friend, is what you're going to be dealing with once me and Mind Player launch our podcast together, roleplay podcast.
I am horrified, but also excited.
Looks like a cool figure for a boss battle. Stormcrow, you there?
Megatron.
Sorry, you were
Did you
really
say
broken
mangoes?
up. Also with us tonight, the mistress of Super Mario Kart, Maji.
I don't know about that. It's
Well, Maji's not here, but Maji's Switch is here. It's sentient.
Yes. And actually, yeah, there. I know those who would say, "Oh no, that title ain't hers."
no, I'm actually kind of semi okay on it.
Yeah, what I had gone back and mentioned to Sonnet last week about how we might do Mario Kart streams. I said, "Well, I'll get you on the stream if we do Mario Kart." She goes, "Yeah, but they don't want me coming on there with that." No, they don't. She pretty much spent her whole life with a Mario Kart controller in her hand. She knows what she's doing.
Nice.
Over on the chat side of things, we got Guilty Gearhead and AS Burner. Guilty says, "Good evening, everyone." And AS Burner says, "Evening, everyone. Good to see you guys tonight." So here we are. We got our show ready to go, and none of us have any idea what to talk about. What should we start off with?
On YouTube, I tried to connect my
Tube
Download
my
man.
PS.
America.
I tried to connect my PS5 to the box. It's not working, but you need to check out the commercial for Hold on, I can tell you exactly what commercial it's for. It's called fetch. Hold on. It's looked really cool. It's like a cross between Final Fantasy and Railguns. I'm just terrible at remembering the name. Because I wanted to pull it up and show you guys, but I couldn't get my PlayStation 5 to behave on this. Which is weird because I have the PlayStation 5 app and I could put it on here, but it just didn't want to cooperate.
Did you
Final
try to slap it?
rails.
Monty, did you try to slap it like a girl? This is gonna might work.
No, I did not slap it, Stormcrow.
Then that's why it's not going to work.
Stormcrow always has the strangest advice.
It works out for me, man.
Anything Stormcrow says is not medical advice.
No.
He is a
No.
lying man. He wears a conspiracy theory hat. I am a crow. I know more than they do. So there you go.
Well, I heard something interesting on the quartering today. Interesting and if I understand it correctly, infuriating. Now I haven't dug deep into this, so I might just not be understanding things properly.
It's called.
But it looks like governments want to start registering podcasts so they can regulate them.
Oh, jeez. It's
Just
called
like FCC on steroids, or what?
Yeah. It's called Honkeray Star Rail.
So what you're telling me
Rail?
is, so what you're telling me is, before I even start my podcast with Mind Flayer, I'm already gonna have my tongue cut out. You know me, man.
I don't think cutting your tongue out would stop you.
No, I probably learned sign language
H-O-K-A-I.
just to slur. You know.
Star Rail.
Star Rail. The Rail of the Star.
Hold on a second.
You'll probably have to switch screen. Like I said, I tried to pull it up on mine because it looks really cool on the 5, but
Oh, I think somebody's talked about this before in the Iron Age. Maybe we talked about it a few weeks ago. Maybe you talked about it a few weeks ago. I don't know.
All right, am I on the right track here? Whoops.
you are type in Honkeray Star Rail Dev Talk. It's only like a 2-minute.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to spell the first word for. Oh wait,
Right there.
Honkai.
Okay, which is the one you're looking for? We got
Either one. I just wanted you to
This
check
one?
it out. Looked
This
like
one's
Final
5 minutes
Fantasy
long.
crossed with Star Shatter.
So this one's 5 minutes long. This one's 50 seconds.
The dev talk actually is the director talking, so that one might get you copyrighted, whereas the other one's the actual trailer.
So this one's the trailer.
Yeah. You'll probably have to blow it up, though. It looks pretty cool.
Yet, it is as certain as the collapsing and converging of the past and present. I called out to you, and you came. The
Giggity.
future is like a labyrinth. Every divergence is merely an inducement. There is only one real path. You and I are each other's destiny.
It looks cool.
Now,
Mike?
is this also in conjunction with a card game? Because I saw her play hold up
That's the-
cards.
That's the thing, though. The other trailers never showed the cards. That's the first one that showed the cards. The other one showed, like, the trains and the battle sequences.
My question here is, if this is a cross between Final Fantasy and Star Shatter, where are the talking animals?
Anyway, A.S. Bernard says, read out. You knocked over the Steelers thing on your stream, and then the game happened. Clearly, the two are linked.
Yes.
That bad, huh?
I told you it's a religion in these parts. And Fred committed heresy by tearing down that terrible Tau.
You could just, admit that it's Steelers and it's going to happen either way.
All Fred's fault. It's all the damn cat's fault. How dare I falter to logic and Matt freaking Canada's horrible offensive line? To be fair, it's more the defensive fault because they let up all the points. Anyways.
Woohoo! All right, Maji, come on. You can do this. You can do this.
I've actually never rode on this track before.
Oh, is this the baby bumper one? It's
I
like
believe so.
you got to do like 5 laps instead of. You got to do like a whole bunch of laps because it's just an oval. But if you got a good drifting vehicle, you can have a lot of fun.
Like I said, I've never actually done this one.
Yeah, I think I had Link on a bike that was very prone to drifting, and I tried to just drift the entire way, all the way. I couldn't quite do it, but I don't know if I could do it or not, but I never really found out because all the other carts kept getting in my way. Like that.
Yeah, I'm losing right now. So, what's happening on the Wing It?
Maji's playing Mario Kart on Wing It. Other than that, you know.
So our real plans are to go silent and watch you play Mario Kart, and everybody's gonna be in the chat going, "What's going on?"
Fun.
I'm meeting in person. Does that something count? Does that count as something happening?
No.
Okay, awesome then. I'm gonna go to jail.
Well then,
I'm gonna lose this one.
While Maji's losing this one and we're trying to figure out what to talk about, I figured I'd go take a peek over what's happening on World Without End.
All right.
Nice. I know he's got something new cooking. Oh, by the way, his he's got one that's out that is like a horror at night at a retail store. It's actually pretty good.
Terror at the
Yeah, he was
Gate.
telling me about that last week.
Snow! Okay. Life just got a lot more interesting on the Wing It.
Yes, it did.
My lady! Oh my god, you're here!
No, you're here. I love you all. I'm sorry I was late. I was eating Takis Fuego and I fell asleep. And then I woke up and I rubbed my eyes.
Oh.
And I got Taki Fuego in my eyes. So
that
now I'm here.
sounds unpleasant.
Yeah, it was epic. It was like if you like pain, it was really cool.
If you like pain.
If you like pain, it was awesome.
You know what, Miss Snow, it's very, very advantageous you are here because I have a topic I want to talk with you about and everybody here.
Uh-oh. What did I do?
You didn't do anything wrong, ma'am. You can never do anything wrong. These
You
guys,
are
on the
wrong.
other hand,
I can do so many things so wrong. I can wrong this to the nth degree.
well, you know what, Miss Snow? You know what, Miss Snow? Maybe you do some things wrong, but at least you do something. Unlike a certain fat bastard that does nothing for 20 years, all promising to do something. And we all know who I'm talking about. I don't even need to mention his name, do I?
So mad at him.
Yeah, you had the nice blow up last week. Let it rest this week. Let's try and like alternate.
Did you upload that video? I'm surprised you haven't uploaded that clip.
Andrew Campbell is in the chat. Hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining.
Hey, Campbell. But come on, man. Get so many views if you upload the rant. It's going to be beautiful. Miss Snell, if you saw that rant on the last Monday, you are going to laugh.
I have to go back and look at it. I have been so slammed. I'm supposed to be reading Maji's book.
Don't worry about it.
No. Don't worry about it. It's fantastic. I love it was so much description. I love your book. It's so great. And I'm supposed to be reading James Craig. I've got other friends that keep sending me stuff, and I'm like, I'll get it, sure. And then I'm like, I gotta write a book too. And I'm like, I'm just so crushed under a workload. But we got published, so that's why I'm gonna go back and watch all that. So if you need to update me, you just go right ahead. I will. I am totally in the dark on everything this week because I've been so busy trying to get this book out. So just entertain me with your wild and woolly ways, y'all.
Nah, you're good. I mean, I'm actually excited for your book, but you know that already.
But it's kind of I'm excited for your book, so there you go.
So from what I understand from the beta readers, mine does have a long ways to go before it's ready. But the story itself sounds pretty legit.
The story is great, and I love your language. I am such a huge fan of narrative voice. Mm-hmm. I want to hear the author. I want to hear them. When I read Twain, I want to read Twain. I want to hear him talking to me. When I read Dickens, I want to hear Dickens. I want to hear everything he says. So when I read Maji, I'm hearing Maji speak. I am actually hearing you tell me what a village looks like in your mind. this world that you created, and I love the fact I could just immerse myself immediately. That's what I'm looking for with my authors, and I love that experience. So I'm so proud of you for doing that and not making it just cut and dry, because a lot of people have pared down the narrative way so much that we no longer have a storyteller. We have a story, but we don't have a storyteller. And I love storytellers. So, that's just me. That's my personal preference. And I love what you did. I thought it was great.
Thank you. Like I said, from what it sounds like from the other betas, it's still got a ways to go. But at the same time, I really believe in the story. It has a lot of good themes and a lot of heart to it. So if I could get it polished out, it will be fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm trying to watch you and the screen at the same time.
Yeah, go for it, y'all. What are we doing here? I can't even see. I'm waiting for my new glasses this week, and maybe I won't be half legally blind, so I can actually see what you're doing.
Well, I'm losing to Mario Kart right now talking to you guys. So we're good.
I was about to read off this blurb from James Esparza's latest story, and Ultimate Kahuna kind of joined us for a second and dropped back out. He's got to do that. He's got to do that. Him trying to plug into StreamYards is like trying to plug in one of them USB ports. It's the wrong way, so you turn it over. It's still the wrong way. You turn it over a third time. Hey, there it goes.
Man, you know what? I'm so sad from yesterday because I got invited to the Pritchard stream with Kahuna and them. But last night I had such a horrible customer to deal with that it drained me.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I wanted to watch
totally relate.
I had too much going on.
Angry at this lady because not only was she fucking,
hey, don't talk
treating me with disrespect. She was disrespecting my mom in front of me, and I just wanted to spit at her. I'm like, "Are you serious?
Do we need Jewish space lasers?"
I wish
we almost cover us. Yeah, keep the workshop off there.
Yes, that.
I wish I had some lasers. Damn it. I would have been nice, but no, I had to swallow the insults and the criticisms that were nothing.
Yeah, but it's always wise not to talk about work online. You never know when that's going to come back.
Oh, no.
Okay, I'm just going to say it. RH Snow, it looks like you have devil horns behind you.
It does look like she has horns.
Yes, it looks like fucking devil horns.
Yeah.
That's my
especially when we minimize.
It's October, yay! That's cool.
Ma'am, that's no excuse. To me, it's always October. I always gotta be on that mindset.
Is that because all the women always scream at you all year round?
Yeah, it's like all these bands.
Yeah, you know what? They do scream at me before I eat them. It's that cuisine that I like before I eat them. That fear. You know what I mean?
That's great.
Anyway,
hey, Billy Bob Sack, would you be kind enough to read Guilty Gearhead's comment?
Kaplaw, kaplaw, kaplaw. I don't even think that's spelled right, to be honest with you.
I can't read it.
Now, actually, let me go look at the video. I guess this side. It is QAPLA with a apostrophe in there, but
I don't know. It's so inconsistent on the actual spelling. You get like two different versions of it.
yeah. Well, I grabbed whatever version Google told me.
Hey, look, before I forget, we don't have to talk about it now. We can talk about a bunch of other stuff before this, but I want to ask every one of you, right? Everyone here in the chat with us, like, what is your favorite villain, male and female, and why are they your favorite, And if those kinds of villains...
In what? A video game or just in general? Movies, books, what?
Anything. Book, movie, anything.
Moriarty. Hands down, Moriarty.
All right, but you got to come up with a female one now.
Really?
Ultimate Kahuna says, did you see it? Also, how are you guys doing tonight? I'm soaking wet. I did. But the moment you popped in, I saw that your hitting the screen name was changed to Wet Kahunas, which was hilarious. And
Maji, what's your female pick?
That is a good question.
Please excuse me for a moment.
All right, well, What do you say, ma'am?
Is it anybody or just villains?
Villains, you know.
Villains.
I want to know who your favorite bad guy is in any
bad
form or
guy,
medium,
okay.
you know. But to Maji's question, why is Moriarty your favorite? You know, why is he your go-to?
Because he is evil just to be evil to prove he can outsmart people. Sometimes you need somebody just to be evil.
Okay. Are you talking from the books, the show, movie, anything specific? What are you talking about here?
The books.
I have not read them yet. Are they good?
If you like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Some people find them dry if they're not into the classics, but oh man, Moriarty, especially when you're reading like inside of his head and stuff, is
Oh yeah.
It's hands down amazing.
Okay.
But granted, I like Sherlock Holmes too. I mean, a lot of modern forensics came from that, even though the author actually hated the character. He's
I'll
like,
probably
"Come
say-
on." Huh?
He liked
Why did he hate
water.
the character?
He felt
I'll
like
probably pick Dutch Vanderland and fucking Cersei from the books.
Woo! Both of those guys. All right. I already know about Cersei, man. But why Dutch?
Why Dutch? I mean, in the first game, he's quite fucking evil, blowing a woman's brains out the first time you meet him. And then the second game, which is a prequel, you just see how fucking dirty he is. Fucking nasty ass snake.
Okay.
Especially towards the end.
And Cersei from the books, why is that? You know?
'Cause she's like one of the like perfect fucking villains for that entire franchise. And when you finally get to fucking read her, it's just gold. Pure gold.
It is peak dark comedy gold. Yes.
She believes herself to be Tywin with tits. She's so fucking delusional of herself that she believes that the what are the ones who take care of her clothes and shit?
Maidservants.
Yeah. She believes one of her maidservants is shrinking her clothes. That's why her clothes are not fitting as well anymore. Not because she's drinking wine and eating boar every fucking night. No, it's clearly a maidservant shrinking her clothes on purpose.
She almost had them killed, by the way, because of that. But
No, not killed. She was gonna give him to Qyburn, who's doing fucking like Frankenstein experiments on these women that she's giving them. By the way, she's giving them women she hates to a dude into dungeons to do experiments on them.
Yep.
To the point where Qyburn's like, "Oh yeah, I used up that last bitch because she can't even feed herself or anything." Whatever he's doing.
We never know what he's doing to them, though. You know, like we never find out what he's doing to them either.
Hold up, but we do have a pretty good idea, Stormcrow. I mean, he got kicked out of the Citadel and banned basically because he was instead of them learning from death to learn about life, he was wanting to learn about death by fucking experimenting on living people.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Yep. Medieval Joseph Mengele there. I forgot about Qyburn from the books, you know?
Oh, he sucked in the show. They ruined him as well.
Let's just say Moriarty was so evil, Stormcrow, that he ended in a duel. In a draw. Like, he was such a brilliant, evil mastermind. The way he thought, the way he coordinated with everything, his whole mind was this twisted puzzle that fit perfectly together.
Manji, have you played Red Dead Redemption 2?
No, I have not.
Oh, I love Red Dead Redemption.
You would understand why I picked Dutch, especially in the second game. It's just he was always a piece of shit. I know people try saying the fucking head injury is why he magically started turning more evil. No, he was always a fucking filthy piece of shit, using his charisma and shit to get people to follow him.
You know,
What are the
Um,
what's the
sorry.
criteria here? Is it like who do you think to be the most evil villain, or which villainous performance did you
Like
enjoy
them to that.
best? What are we going
I
for?
think the criteria is a villain you absolutely like love. You know, your absolute favorite. You think about them all the time. You think about their quotes, their performance, their quotes, whatever. You know, it could be from anything.
I'll give
It
an
doesn't mean,
honorary mention to Dimitri from GTA 4 as well.
woo, oh hell
As
yeah.
it's very subtle about how Rockstar how he was manipulating and scheming Nico and shit at the beginning of the game,
Mhm.
He
like
was
the
just a piece of
assassination and
shit.
stuff.
I
See,
can't
Yeah.
remember the character name, but there was a Klingon that said "Revenge is a dish best served cold." I think it was played by Christopher Lloyd.
See, here's the thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do like that whole sympathize with the bad guy occasionally, but sometimes you need a villain just to be a villain.
Yeah, just to be evil.
Well, yeah. Like for example, one villain I absolutely love is Hades from Hercules, the Disney
Oh yeah.
version. He's just
Grand
he's just
Woods.
fun. But one villain I think is just like, yeah, her presence on screen always felt like pure villain, and it's someone to be feared. Was Bath Morta from Willow.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name of the character of Keith David's? His character on the Princess and the Frog animated.
Oh,
Shadow Man.
Doctor.
I can't remember.
Starts with F.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. He's pretty good.
Dr. Facilier. That's his name.
Yeah,
Facilier.
Facilier.
Yep.
Yeah, where he's using voodoo and shit, and he holds souls and stuff.
Oh yeah, I love that one song. Does it for him. He's great. I have that on my playlist. I play it whenever I have villains. I have a whole villain playlist that I pull out so I can write villains for each one. So I pick Disney villains and do that. So.
Old school Disney villains.
But here's the thing: like Disney villains, they're iconic for a reason. I mean, I know Scar is taken from the uncle from Hamlet.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was evil enough to kill his own brother and then freaking take over his entire castle.
Yeah. Yeah, he's very Shakespeare.
And the deleted scene. Did you see the deleted scene where he tried to do Nala? You know, you saw that scene?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that
he's
one.
pretty brutal.
He is.
But it takes more than just evil. It takes personality.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on how I'm wanting to get into the character, there are some that are evil and they're deliciously evil. And then there's others that are truly frightening. And I think it depends on the first time you see them. There's a couple of really obscure ones that probably y'all might not even know that.
Judge Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yes. Yeah.
He's terrifying.
Oh yeah.
And I think that if you're looking at villains, that the ones that scared me the most, the ones that I saw when I was a child. First one is, and I don't know if anybody has ever seen this movie. It's called The Cowboys, and it's with John Wayne. And there's a character that's played by Bruce Dern, who is Laura Dern's dad. And it is one of the most evil characters I've ever seen.
Hold up, RH Snow, is that the movie where he's like he's getting the cattle for the kids and shit?
Yes, and the children it's actually based on a real event that took place where it was where one of the rangers actually didn't have enough guys to come forward. Everybody was gone out of the work. And he took kids, basically young men that were willing to go, and they were very young, but they went ahead and rode the trail with him, and they got the cattle in. And so this character is just absolutely purely evil. He's still one of the ones that I really go to when I really want a character to be evil. I look at that character from the Cowboys. Get a chance, watch him, because he's savagely evil. It's a smaller, but instead of being evenly matched like Moriarty to Sherlock Holmes, he is a brutal predator, and he stalks these children. He terrifies them. He kills one of them. In a time when you didn't show that on TV, it's implied that it's accidental, but he stampedes the herd, and one of the children dies. And so, literally, this is a man that wants to murder children. He is absolutely purely evil. You really almost can't enjoy him because he's just so evil. At the same time, he is the epitome of the villain that must be eradicated. Mm-hmm. And he preys on the old and the young. And so I just wanting somebody that you go, this person shouldn't be alive at all. Somebody's got to get him off screen. He's that bad. And then you have villains that are just delicious to watch. And one of those being Dr. Facilier on Princess and the Frog, which I love, and I've got that on my playlist. And then there's ones that are just fun to watch. Like, I know this sounds really strange, but Phineas and Ferb, Dr. Doofenshmirtz, I don't know why. I love Doofenshmirtz so much. Because he's the everything he does just fails spectacularly, and yet he works so hard at it. He
lost to a houseplant.
I know, and I'm so sorry for him, and that's truly sympathetic. And so I try to fall somewhere in between, not to be, maybe not quite so that you lose to a houseplant. You have to be that villainous mindset where you're head to head. But and so most of my villains are villains for a reason. They're powerful. They're able to be powerful. And so but my favorite female villain is actually one I wrote, and I know that sounds terrible because I wrote her because I wanted a female villain I could really sink my teeth into, that I could just absolutely let everything go. And my favorite is Shani, and she's actually in Watcher of the Dam. She shows up early in book 2, and she's out there. Actually, she shows up in book 1. You just don't know it yet. I love writing female villains. I think they're fantastic. And Shani is just so absolutely glitteringly beautiful. She is a gorgeous villain. She is not. She's not the one that's really ugly on the inside and outside. Even though she's a mutant, she is a gorgeous person, and she is in love with herself completely and totally. And if you've ever known a real narcissist, I'm talking about a real one that really truly believes that they are a gift to humanity, and you just have to embrace them. When they love you,
oh my God, you would fucking love Cersei. I swear to God.
Yes, you would, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah, because that person is the one that you will meet in your life. You'll meet this person, and they will destroy you the minute that you do not make them happy. And if they've got really cool powers, then they will destroy the rest of the universe with you. So, Shani doesn't have powers. Most of the people in my universe don't have powers, in quotes, but they are very much psychopathic or sociopathic. And Shani's one of those people that you love to watch her. Just the way that she wraps around her own head and loves herself so much. And I enjoyed writing her a bunch. In fact, I enjoy writing her so much I have to be careful when I write her that I don't start doing some of the stuff she does.
A.S. Burnett is bringing up the villain from Megamind, the fucking nerdy one, who I think was actually a pretty good villain.
Twist villain,
like
actually.
The person who really doesn't need powers gets the powers.
Yep.
It just becomes a douchebag.
What's up, Gino?
Thank you.
Says the queen is on.
Just to ask Readout. Readout, favorite villain, man. I'm feeling you're feeling a little bit left out here.
I really don't know how to answer, because like saying favorite villain, there are villains that I am legit entertained watching, like what was his name? Wesley Snipes' portrayal of Phoenix in Demolition Man. He is just so batshit hilarious, and is an equal match to Sylvester.
Wait, hold up! I thought you were going to say TNG. It's Wesley Crusher.
Wesley Crusher.
Wesley Crusher. No.
Anytime I hear Wesley, I just think of him. Just gotta say, shut up, Wesley.
But if you want to go to like more horrifying levels, and maybe this is cheating, Ralph Fiennes' portrayal of Amon Goth in Schindler's List.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to talk about Fiennes playing Voldemort 10 years later. I'm like, there's a reason they picked him to play Voldemort. Because first you look at him, and then you look at the photos of the actual Goth, and then you watch what he does in the movie, and then you realize just about everything he does in the movie he did in real life, and is actually comparatively tame to what he did in real life. And there's
Readout, which one did you pick for Wesley Snipes?
Phoenix in Demolition Man.
Oh yeah.
And he's entertaining. He's entertaining. But when you're just watching Fiennes' portrayals, Goth and Schindler's List, there's the balcony sequence when, by this point, all of the people have been concentrated into the, I think was it the Plazow concentration camp? I think it was. Plazow. I'm butchering it. I apologize. But he basically just, for no reason, decides to start shooting from a balcony to set it, everybody just to cause fear. And
Read out.
according to the
He
survivors,
literally-
it happened on multiple occasions.
He literally tried to tape a Jew, the Jewish woman.
Well, and then the worst part is you realize he's one of what, tens of thousands of people that perpetrated this stuff. Like, he's not the only one.
Oh yeah, I think that's the reason it's so hard with historic figures, because I love to be entertained by my villains, and that's the reason why when I start being really frightened by them, when I realize some of these are real people. Like for instance, in the Killing Fields of Laos, Cambodia, those types of stories where we have real villains, Idi Amin and some of the things that happen. You have people that are absolutely legitimately villainous, but there's nothing remotely entertaining about it. It's just horrendous evil upon evil. And it's hard to translate that in a story unless you have a hero of equal worth to take up that slack, because otherwise it's just an endlessly crushing experience to read about it. And I think that's why people have to get into that, to the historic villains, because they're more afraid of them than they are entertained.
But I will say, if we're gonna ask about favorite female villain, hands down, it's GLaDOS from Portal and Portal 2.
Oh,
you gotta love, and sometimes many times be horrified by GLaDOS' sense of humor.
Okay,
Man,
Gino's
sure
got to
am.
go. He says he's off. Have a great stream, everyone. Don't do anything I would do. Thanks, Gino. Good to see you, man. And joining the stream, AC Pritchard has arrived. Says, "Hail, gang. How's it going?"
Welcome to the club.
Pritchard. Wait, hold on. Before we continue, Pritchard, I'm so sorry, man. I wanted to be on last night with you guys, but you know, I talked about it. You know, you guys are great. My spirit was just not in it last night, but I'm in it now. You know, I'm happy you're here.
I wanted to go on Andy's show last night too, and we had a thing happen in our family. I can't really go into it here, but there was what do you call it, family crisis. If you have enough people living in your house, you're gonna have a crisis at least every other hour or so. So it showed up right away, and I'm like, we gotta handle this right now. So I missed it. So I'm sorry, Andy. I love you. I'm trying to come on Sundays. Just let me know. And go ahead.
Oh, no, finish your thing. I want to bring up something Kahuna mentioned earlier, but you finish.
Yeah, no, and I also had a bunch of, I had another show earlier that day, and so I'm like, I got to get ready for Andy's thing. I got to do Andy. And then I was like, oh, no, this thing, I feel bad. So I'm trying to get there. I love you.
Got it.
So with Kahuna earlier, it's talking about Zahir from Legend of Korra. And the thing that makes Zahir a stand-up villain, aside from the fact that, gosh, just Legend of Korra have a lot of writing problems, but that makes him stand out all the more that for one season there was a crystal clear villain that had clearly defined goals and is absolutely horrifying, because up until book 3 of Legend of Korra, the Air Nomads were just stereotypically good guys, because we only had known one of the Air Nomads, being Aang from the original series, so we just assumed they were all a bunch of humble monks and stuff like that. But then you bring the Air Nomads back through convoluted reasons, and you end up with a guy who has studied these nomadic teachings better than anybody else. And he has fallen into a T, but he's just gone ever so slightly to a extreme where we go from one person go, there should be no rules in this world, to, yeah, there should be no rules to this world, and it proceeds to burn everything to the ground. And that's what makes the hero so terrifying, because we got so accustomed to, oh, there's no rules here, everything's so peaceful here in the Air Nomads, to somebody just hearing the same thing and just thinking, all right, then we're just going to burn the whole world to the ground then. There's just something horrifying about that. And he's calm for most of the show. Zahir is calm, a well-educated man, more educated than anybody in The Legend of Korra, mind you. And it's just fascinating. And another thing is, he's the only villain in Korra that most of the Korra villains are one and done. Their things are resolved. He's the only one that's not resolved. He breaks the main character for 3 full years. And he has to come back in the 4th season as almost a cameo, and Korra basically has to go to Zahir and kind of pull a Hannibal Lecter situation, Khalees Starlin going to Hannibal Lecter. It's basically what happens, basically asking for advice and stuff. So, dude, he goes far.
who was on Teen Titan that was up against Robin that was so freaking evil?
Oh,
Well,
Slade. Slade.
Thank you.
Slade,
Slade.
Deathstroke. You know,
Deathstroke.
Slade was absolutely brutal. I think that he reminds me.
Oh,
most
he's
probably-
brutal.
He reminds me most of the character from the Cowboys. People that prey on young people or children and literally try to destroy their mind. And Slade is just vicious. Oh my gosh, he's such a bad person. It made it hard for me to watch because I've known people like Slade. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Now, this is probably kind of cheating because I'm pulling on an Alan Rickman character, but one of the greatest villains of all time has got to be Hans Gruber.
Yeah, no, I agree. Man, now that once you start talking, then I start thinking of more villains. Oh, I could mention him, I could mention her, but
Well, that's the thing, though.
I need the wheels greased in my brain from time
But
to
that's
time.
that's the thing, though. The whole point of storytelling. I mean, technically, all the Hans Christian Andersen stories were all technically horror stories, but the villain strikes something. Like when I was a kid, Gaston from Beauty and the Beast terrified me because he could show up in the real world.
Yeah, he's the person that's very persuasive. And I also have a group of people that believe that Gaston is actually the secret hero because everyone in the village loves him. And it can go both ways. Your
Well, hold up.
hero can depend on.
Wasn't he faithful? He wasn't a man whore either.
But I mean, he
really did just want
basically
one woman.
bribed Belle to marry him or send her dad to the loony bin, and everybody sided with him because everybody trusted him.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's a manipulative.
Well, his dad was letting a woman learn and stuff, so that's pretty fucking crazy at that time.
Hey, hold up. I want to apologize. Bad internet signal.
No worries.
All right, so back on topic for a minute. So, okay, Rito gave his villains. Miss Snow, you gave yours. Maji, you gave yours. Billy, you gave yours. Wrangler, did you give your villains?
I gave a few suggestions. I mean, I said my favorite all-time villain. I mean, it's tough to pick one. It depends on my mood, but a lot of times I like Hades from Hercules, but Crowley from Supernatural is a good one.
Oh,
Hail
here's
James
another
Craig.
good one. Here's another good one. I'm disappointed that Frequency didn't bring it up. I think even Raven. Fucking Goldu Kott from fucking DS9.
He did go through my mind.
Yeah. He was good.
He's not only a good fucking villain, but he's a realistic villain.
Yeah.
Hey, John.
Hail John Douglas.
Plus, he also needs your help sometimes.
Senator Armstrong.
He is not a villain, sir. He is not a villain. Okay.
Senator Armstrong? Who's that?
From Solid Snake. Metal Gear?
Oh, yeah.
Metal Gear Revengeance, ma'am. I cannot believe you do not know who Senator Armstrong is, sir. He is the politician that we need now more than ever, damn it. I don't care. Yeah, I said it. I'm not going to take it back. He is the senator and the president that we all need right now. I'm not going to take it back.
I'll just take the guy from the movie Dave.
Let's flip it on the script of Readout. What is y'all's worst male villain and female villain you've ever seen?
Wait. Hold on. I wanted to give my villains.
Why are you flipping it on me?
Yeah, really?
I would hear what y'all think are the worst.
There you go. John says Armstrong didn't do nothing wrong. And he likes Gaston, so there.
Can I give my villains before we continue on the worst ones?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Let me start out like this. For video games, who here has played Wolfenstein: The New Order?
I haven't played it.
I have.
All right.
I don't think so. I think I only played the old one.
Are you thinking of the Nazi fucking officer?
Yahtzees.
Woman?
You gotta call them Yahtzees on YouTube.
Nah, you can say
Yeah.
it. We're fucking over. We're fine.
His name, Miss Snow, you gotta understand. The man I'm talking about in that game is called General Deathshead. And when we meet the man, he is almost 100 years old. He is completely scarred up and wrinkled. And he is, Billy, can you describe what he does to us when we meet him?
I'm trying to remember. The only one I remember is the old lady.
Oh yeah, Engel, but she's just regular evil Nazi bitch. I'm talking about the scientist. He is.
Oh yeah.
What he does when we meet him is he crushes us in like this human trash compactor, right, to pass us out, and then he has like these freaking robot Frankenstein like prisoners hold us down, and basically the two companions that we had up to that point in the level, he holds them
Well,
down with them too.
he kind of like lobotomizes us, and you're like in a nursing home, and it skips over time until
Yeah,
you
but
finally like wake up.
no. That's after that. He doesn't lobotomize us. What happens is, let me say it like this. He makes us choose which of the two companions we want to give him, so he can experiment on them.
Oh my gosh!
And so we pick the one we don't want to, but we liked some of the companions better than the other. And then he proceeds to like operate on the man on the spot by plucking out his eyeballs, then putting him on this machine operating table that then proceeds to like open his back, like carve his skull in, and then
Thank you
vacuum
for
out his
reminding me why I
brain.
never played this game.
I know.
Then hold on, he grabs like a vacuum cleaner that like scoops out the brain of the guy we chose, like an aborted fetus, and then he keeps the brain in the jar. So yeah, that's how we meet General Deathhead.
It's the only one. That's the only one is the one you need to play. The second one's pretty shit, and it's fucking woke.
Don't fucking play the second one. Just stick to the first one, okay?
Oh my gosh! I'm a
So
little now.
Now for westerns, Micah Bell. I know Dutch Vanderlyn, piece of shit, but Micah Bell, man. Listen, I hate him. I hate him, but he is like so honest on how much of a piece of shit he is that I kind of admire that, you know? Like for me,
I mean, he's openly racist at the beginning of the game. He doesn't hide what he is.
I know. I love him for that. He's like, yeah, I'm a piece of shit. I like to kill. I'm racist. I'm sexist. I kill people. I rob people. This is Wild West, baby.
Well, if you want to establish someone as the villain right off, that's an easy way to do it.
I think one of my all-time favorite villains is Raceland Majir from Dragonlance series.
I haven't read that yet.
And part of it is because he is the brother. So in Dragonlance, there's 3 orders of mages. I only remember 2 of them. One of them is the black mages, and then the red mages, and I think the third might be white mages. But they're kind of alignment based. So I believe the good ones would be like the white, and the neutral would be red, and the black would be evil, of course. And he ends up becoming a black mage. But the thing is that he's all for the party. He's a part and portion of the party because the party is old friends from way back growing up and stuff. And his brother is actually one of the knights. And so, or big strong warrior and stuff, and ends up basically carrying him around because having gone through his magic rites and stuff basically destroyed his body. So he's almost always constantly weak, struggling to get around and stuff. But he's very strong magically. And the party thinks he's don't know why he went to the black thing, but they figure he's a pretty good dude because he helps them out all the time and stuff with everything. But his point is that he wants to rule the world, and in order to do that, he has to kill basically the queen of the gods. And he gets himself powerful enough where he is almost able to kill her. But then he discovers that if right as he's about to kill her, if he kills her, there will be no people left on the planet. And so he ends up deciding he can't do that because that would remove what he wants to do.
Oh, what happened to Maji?
I'm not sure. I'm hoping she pops back in. Oh, I heard it. I heard the tone.
Hello. How are you guys doing?
I was gonna
Hey,
make
Kahuna.
Maji happy. I was gonna mention Dagoth from Morrowind.
Oh no, she took off.
She ran away and was replaced by the Kahuna.
Hell
Kahuna
yeah.
what?
Or a
Now,
Goat?
what's y'all's worst
unicorn?
male and female
What?
villains?
Anyway. Oh Christ! There we go. So how y'all doing? Actually,
What's with the
you know what?
mask?
That's a great mask.
You didn't know me until I put on the mask. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, no. So we were getting ready to go on AC stream last night, and I wanted to do this kind of intro with a mask on. The problem was we were backstage for like maybe 45 minutes to an hour while they were getting some things ready, and I had the mask on the entire time.
Oh my gosh!
Well, the camera was off. There was no reason for me to keep the mask on. I was.
You should have just started the stream like in Spaceballs when we were introduced to Lord Helmet and he flips it up. I can't breathe in this.
Now, how's that for a villain, Lord Helmet
Oh
Hey,
yeah,
Kahuna.
and President Scroob?
What's up, Stormcrow?
I'm giving my final villain, my absolute favorite villain of all time, before we continue on. All right. This is my last one, I promise. Who here knows who Cormac McCarthy is?
Oh, I know that name. Why do I know the name? Christ.
No Country for Old Men.
Question.
The Road.
Yeah,
Why do you
that's
want to
right.
know our villains, Crow?
He's trying to model himself, and he needs examples.
That's right.
Ah.
There you go. Anyway, guys, I won't be able to stay on for too long, but how's everyone doing?
Be quiet, son.
Shush.
You don't tell
There
your
you go.
father to shush. That's
Yes,
disrespectful.
John, we are. We are
Uh,
talking villains.
No, Billy Bob. In Minecraft, as a child, I karate chopped my father on the shoulder as hard as I could as a 10-year-old. And that's the only time he let me have it. He turned around and I must have flown 8 or 9 feet back in the air.
Well, you know, that's why I'm your stepdaddy.
Oh, no.
Oh boy,
I
that
have
could go
some-
wrong.
My mom and I have some questions for her. No. There you go. Holy smokes, dude. How's your guys' weekend? You guys doing anything fun?
I ate Takis. I wrote a book.
Of course
I
you.
wrote a book that was fun.
All
We
right,
packed boxes.
no, she's sitting there was like, yeah, I wrote an entire book. 83,000 words, not a big deal. 3 days.
Just the entire book of the weekend. I got it to my publisher. Yay!
I've been busting Otter's balls all day.
Wait, whose balls?
Otters. I've been calling him a
help-
furget.
Oh.
Helping him get ready for his book release.
No, just calling him a furget.
It's like, so why'd you pick on otters? What you did you watch freaking Zootopia and you're like, all right, this is it. Oh snap! Holy
He's
smokes.
supposed to come on.
I know. I'm waiting. I was hoping to catch him, but it looks like I might not be able to. I don't have that much time, unfortunately. No, I was up in the mountains all weekend. I found this weird, cool spot up in the Cascades where I got 5G, like one random hill up there.
Really?
I was supposed to say
Yeah.
I had not even half a bar at St. Helens. Where the heck were you?
Really?
You'll protect this secret like a fisherman hides his favorite spot.
No
Oh,
kidding.
hell no! There's lots of people up there. Yeah, no, there was there's a pew pew range just up the road and a whole bunch of
Really?
spots there people stop. Yeah, it's a great time, man. Took my
The
kid
Oh,
up
the
there.
Cascades
down the
are
road.
great. The only problem is you have to be in Washington to visit them.
Yeah.
Yes, Burner, he kind of has a point about the transferability, but it only works as long as you have power.
That's correct.
Okay. I'm sorry. Last time this is happening, I swear.
No, no.
Dude, you can't control that.
Ah,
It happens. It happens to everyone, man. Don't be embarrassed.
I've dropped
I am
off of these
embarrassed.
streams too, and I'm on an actual computer.
Performance problems. It's fine.
I'm embarrassed, dude. I wanted to share my favorite villain of all time, and the internet's just not letting me.
Actually, that's a good villain. The internet, the true villain.
Yeah,
of the
right?
modern
There's
age.
a lot of everything.
Oh,
Watch
there
it
we
be
go.
an AI named Bob.
Okay.
He'll declare himself king.
No, that honor is reserved for him.
AC Pritchard. That
The
reminds
fat guy
me of
from Pee Wee Herman.
the movie where the dude's he's got Down syndrome. It
That's a
cuts
lot of
to him
movies, man.
looking into the mirror and he's like, "I'm retarded."
Oh, shit, I forgot about that. Or freaking what's eating Gilbert Grape.
Did none of y'all remember that? They showed that in my school, man.
Okay.
Anyone else have their English teacher freak out when you're watching Romeo and Juliet because an ass comes on the screen for like 4 seconds?
What?
Yeah, there's like we were watching the old Romeo and Juliet. At one point, it pans back. He's like, "Oh no, we gotta get click out of there. Can't have man ass in English."
Whoops.
Oh shit!
Our class just rolled with it.
So,
Alright.
Stormcrow, I'm curious. Why do you want to know our villains?
Because he wants to know people's favorite
Because
villains.
before I give my final villain, it's simple. As I said, I want to know you guys' taste because I want to cater you guys when I write my book. I'm not going to change a whole lot, but I'm like, okay, so, this is what you guys like. And I'm writing the market here. And
But
you guys are the
Oh,
market.
oh,
And I
well,
love you guys. And I want to give you a good product.
you need to put in Mr. Potter from It's a Wonderful Life then.
Stormcrow, it's not that hard, man. I know all about my ex-wife. I could tell you all about it. Best villain of all time.
Oh my
What was the
God.
name of the little girl in Little House on the Prairie?
Oh, oh.
Laura Ingalls.
Oh
that her
yeah,
name?
yeah.
It was her
Well,
and
that
her
was-
mother.
No, that was the offer. Laura Ingalls was the offer.
Yeah.
Who was
Yeah,
the
it was
little
you.
girl, the little blonde one, and the mother?
Oh, the one that was mean. Dang it. The one that was always mean to her, Nellie. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
wasn't-
was the little
what-
girl, and then her mother was also a bitch.
Yeah.
Didn't the actress from real life have like some really bad family problems and it really like affected
Yeah.
her performance? Yeah, I thought so.
I don't know.
I think Ace Bernard's got the best, is closest to the truth here.
But here's the thing, Stormcrow. Just because it's our favorite villains to inspire off of, doesn't necessarily mean it's yours.
Also, it's got to correlate with what your story's telling.
Have a good one,
Yeah.
James.
Unrelated. Now I have to
Oh,
ask a
James.
question.
Yeah,
must-
I mentioned you.
I have to ask a question. John, how many
Yes.
people are in your cell in the gulag, in the Twitter gulag, the internet gulag? We
Oh,
figured
God.
that they're going to put all of the Iron Age creators in one cell. We don't get individual
Keep
cells.
waiting.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, there's this new kind of profile. Apparently, he's a friend of John's. It's the weirdest thing.
Huh.
Yeah, I've got a third party associate that's
Yo,
handling
you
some
made
business
it!
again. He can actually
Welcome to the Wing It,
you know.
John.
Yay!
good.
Yeah, welcome.
James, get out of here and go right, man.
James, I mentioned
Awesome.
you. I'm reading your stuff, James. I promise. I promise.
Noodle.
I
Hi,
started
John.
James, but
I'm
I'll be
John.
honest. I misplaced your book and I don't know where I put it.
That's
Oh,
why
well.
ebooks are incredibly helpful, especially for speed reading through reviews.
Not if you only have a phone, John. I can't afford a Kindle.
I read everything. I read all my books on my phone.
Are you?
Me
what?
too.
Are
Yeah,
you
they got a
so-
Kindle
me too.
app.
Sociopath, man. Holy shit.
I don't know if my eyes can take that.
When you're a college student in the 21st century, you learn how to read everything off the phone because it's the
That
only way
is
you
true.
can get the stuff done.
Yes,
That way you don't
yes.
end up carrying 100-pound textbooks everywhere.
All right, James. If you need to know what flirting looks like, just send me a text or something. All right.
Oh, jeez.
I think
Alright,
James
alright.
would prefer you keep your shirt on.
So, John, what's the new cult
Ma'am,
initiation?
I do not have my glasses, but I swear.
I just had
Wait,
flashback
hold
to
on.
coconuts.
Wait, hold on.
Oh.
John.
It's too
John,
soon. Too soon
Yeah.
there, Wrangler.
Not soon enough.
Yes.
First off, hey, how you doing? Everything okay?
Hey, good to see. Actually, yes, you guys have heard me talk about the fence a lot. I just about 10, 20 minutes ago put up the last board on it. So
Now, what kind of fence? Was it a stockade or?
it's just a regular. I slung the shit together from Home Depot, and we put up some cedar pickets, and we're except for the big gate on one side, we're all fenced in. So now I can go outside and pee in my backyard without the neighbors taking pictures or anything like that. You know,
What?
That
I have
is
true
true freedom right
John,
there.
John,
Yes,
you need to leave the fence down. It's a show. It just like kind of
established dominance.
assert yourself in the neighborhood.
Well, you don't want to be known
let
as a
them see the
fence sitter.
glory.
That's all we're saying.
Okay, I'm
Right.
serious. You brought this up. There's the only spoiler I'm going to give you. In Six Gun Shiva, my main character actually goes out to establish dominance with the monsters and wheeze on them.
I haven't read. I've only read book one. Don't
Yeah.
don't
Don't
spoil
ruin
it.
it for him.
Yeah.
He's such a dude. Why y'all? That is like the most important thing in your life, that you can walk out in your underwear. My husband is just so thrilled that we have 36 acres and he can just stand out there and just enjoy the world.
Y'all go hunting on it?
I could do anything I want on
Well,
this land.
well, Snow, you're in Texas. You need in
My
flatland. You
land.
need twice the amount of land
I
for there
know,
to be any true privacy.
I know. He can see the neighbor's house and he's like, "My land, y'all." You know, I'm like, like, stop it.
Well, why is he holding a small rodent? Oh wait, no.
They can see it from the road. Quit.
John, do you regret joining us now?
No, it's fine. I'm clearing stuff off my computer to free up some space because I have got guys, this is the month. If everything goes well and I can get everything done in time, barring unforeseen circumstances, the Black Crown will launch on October the 30th.
Yes.
So, and I've got a lot going into that. Mr. Daniel P. Riley is working on the format for me.
Oh,
he's
sweet.
He's going to hook me up. Anyone and I've got Beard of Darkness is working on my website. So, and I'm getting the newsletter set up and all that crap. So you go to my website and you sign up for my newsletter. You will get free sample chapters, which are the prologue, the first two Rags chapters, and the first two Cortland chapters thrown into one. So all four of the five of those things put together is a really good hook to go, hey, I really want to know what happens next.
John, before I say my piece here, is that burned elf girl in the book, or is that something else?
Yes, that is.
You got a link, by the way?
Not yet. I don't have a link. I don't have a pre-order. When I do the book, the book cover reveal, it'll the end of the trailer will announce it when it's the pre-orders are available.
And John, this is the reason you want that website so bad. And I did my website before I did anything else. I did my website with my freebie on it, and links. My links still go back to Amazon. But you see just what's happened to you this last 2 weeks on Twitter, how easy it is to just have them take away everything you have, and you can't even advertise. And so you having your website up first is huge. It's the reason you're going to be able to get out to your readers, even if Amazon, Twitter are evil. So good job.
He might be. Oh,
and he's back. He doesn't care at all. Like,
no, I was listening.
Sure you
lies, filthy lies. You heard a woman talking. You're like, nope, I'm out.
Yeah, you're just like blah 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 blah.
I had to prioritize which one I was talking to.
No, man.
Right. Oh, you better prioritize the wife. Then you have to live there.
No, this is a pretty big month, man. We got you coming out with the Black Crown. We got Lord Otter coming out with his book. There's a lot going on.
I'm looking forward to that.
Athletic tits. That's all I'll say.
I keep waiting for you to say my book, Kahuna.
Your book is already out, isn't it? Am I wrong?
Yeah, this is on the 30th.
I already celebrated privately for your book. I'm excited.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, I'm excited.
As hard as I can. It's like, come on.
I was talking to Sybil here just a minute before I hopped on, and he's like, "Hey, I just got my copy of Watcher.
Oh, that's right. Anvil 2 is in the mail."
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I'm excited, man.
And now I feel bad that I hadn't reviewed or read the first one because I've been doing so much other stuff.
Oh,
yeah, I feel that.
Aren't you?
I get it. I haven't read anything in the first one either because I've been spending the last few months just working on my manuscript. Which you know how that is. You're just finishing that up yourself.
Actually, Wrangler, you got to finish up. Let's get them all released in 1 month. Come on.
Yeah.
Really big
I was hoping to have it published this month, but it looks like it's going to be mid next month, maybe even December before I can get that
come
out.
on, come on, come on. Let's
I
do
was
30 days
shooting-
of gulag. Come on, 30 days. We can do it. You can do it. Come on.
Well, here's the thing. Once done with the fine tuning and beta, then it's got to go to the copy editor. She's going to format it, but I'm not commissioning the cover artist until I have an actual page count. Because last time I had to resize, and it was a headache.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a headache.
Wrangler, I can edit for you. I got it. No, I can beta read. That's all.
Hey, listen.
All
I got too long to stay, but you guys were talking about villains earlier, and I absolutely had to throw one in here. Even before I had a YouTube channel, I wanted to do a list of my favorite villains. Right now, everybody's always goes to the top tier guys. You know, your Darth Vaders and Voldemorts and all of that, but I always like ones that really stick with me and that really make themselves memorable. Now, my all-time favorite villain of all is Mr. Freeze, but when it comes to any discussion of villains, I don't like to let it go past without the mention of Clancy Brown's Captain Hadley from the Shawshank Redemption. Yeah. This guy stole every scene he was in. He had some of the best scenes in that entire movie. He was completely unforgettable in that role. Like, you just go back and watch that. Like, he is so earnest at he was really getting into it.
Oh yeah.
No story has a better sequence for comeuppance for villains than the Shawshank Redemption.
Yes. Oh yes.
I can't think of a better one, but I feel like there is a couple. Anyway.
The fucking warden from Cool Hand Luke.
Oh yeah.
He just gets away with it at the end.
Well, then why not say New P Justice? Why not? If we're gonna go there, come on, man.
Yep.
Well,
I'm gonna barbecue your ass if it's the last thing I do.
Hold up. Guys,
Bro, you were a million miles away from your mic.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Well, you know what?
Is this better?
Come closer.
Who's like speaking and it's really quiet? Is that John?
It's Crow.
That's Storm Crow. Yeah.
He's a Storm Crow.
Listen.
I like how he's trying to
quiet
but I
again.
can't hear him.
No.
Put your mic in your mouth, son. Don't be a coward.
No, don't give him that advice.
No, don't put anything in your mouth.
Whoa, wait, what?
Frequency, we need to get the golden Ducat did nothing wrong clip.
I feel bad I haven't seen The Count of Monte Cristo before.
Oh, bro, you haven't seen that?
No,
That's
there's a lot of classics I haven't seen.
Watch the newer one with Jim Caviezel. It's way better, honestly.
It is true to the book up until the last 2 minutes.
Which I prefer. I've read the book. I don't like the ending in the book.
What? That's just wrong of you. That's fine.
No, I do like how they ended the movie. It leaves on a good note. So I don't mind it straying the last 2 minutes of the movie. But other than that, it almost goes hand in hand perfectly.
Hey guys, can you think of any scenes where a movie actually did it better than the book? Because 9 times out of 10, book was better than movie.
Yes.
African Queen with Humphrey
We still
Bogart.
can't, Crow. Barely. We barely can.
Yeah. African Queen was great.
Most of the movie, The Green Mile. The book is good, but the movie was just so expertly done. That movie.
I kept falling asleep during that movie.
Oh, how?
It was a really good movie. Listen, I've said this before, and I'll say it again, probably till the day I die. I'm probably going to reread it just to confirm this. Forrest Gump, the movie is pretty good. Forrest Gump, the book, sucks ass through a straw. Okay, it is, and a lot of people don't even know it was based on a book. Look, the biggest reasons, without getting too much into it, in the book, Gump, he does not. He has no moral center. That's one. He's not.
Yeah.
In the movie, he comes off as kind of a good-hearted dullard. In the book, he's just a perverted dumbass, and he's damn near retarded, and not even in the good way.
Well, he kind of is in the book. I mean, in the movie.
Yeah, but he's a little slow, but like he didn't go full retard. Okay,
you never go full retard.
Never go full retard. Right.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, he showed very high intelligence. He comes across as a high functioning but severely autistic.
Right, possibly. Now, in the book, another problem with the book is entirely in his first person perspective. In his thoughts are in that highly accented Southern drawl that is very makes it a bit of a slog to read.
Yeah,
and
it sounds cool to speak, but the written version is tough.
Yeah, and it just makes it kind of a pain to look. And there were some sequences in the book that didn't really work because, look, in the book, Gump is like this 6.5 foot tall, purebred country boy, right? Obviously, Tom Hanks is not. So some things that he did in the book didn't make the cut, like the scene when he gets his, his army check with the doctor. He turns around. Now, this would have actually been funny in the movie. Turns around, slugs the doctor, runs home naked, and watches his mother wrestle the MPs from his front porch. That would have been funny. But then after Vietnam, he went on to become a professional wrestler named the Dunce, and he was fighting guys who had names like the Turd. I'm not kidding you. And the ending of the book is even worse because the ending of the book, and I'm going to spoil this because it's not really any different than the movie. The movie is actually much more heartfelt and better. It is him, Lieutenant Dan, and an orangutan left over from the space program running a one-man band in New Orleans.
Oh, brother.
If I'm
This
lying,
sounds like
I'm
a
dying.
parody of the movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does. It really does. And all throughout it, he's just kind of like, oh, well, that happened. Yeah, that's kind of his attitude to everything he goes through. And at the end, in the very last chapter, when he's doing the one-man band thing, Jenny comes up and says, "This is your son." And his response is kind of like, "Oh, okay."
That happened.
Yeah, that happened. That's what kind of Forrest Gump was. And
Hey, Swift.
It was definitely not. The movie was much more better. It was much more heartfelt. Oh, Jenny in the book is even worse than she is in the movie. In the book, she is a completely unrepentant whore.
Well,
I didn't see her as that much better in the movie, honest. Actually, I saw her as kind of sinister in the movie, to be honest.
Yeah. She was a manipulative little.
Yeah, I mean, I hated the whole dynamic between them. On one hand, Gump was too stupid to realize that he's not good enough for her, but on the other hand, Jenny was too self-interested to realize that he's the best thing she's got going.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll shout out Roy Batty from Blade Runner to do Android's Dream of Electric Sheep. I think it was done better in the movie with the villain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's kind of forgettable in the book. In the movie, he's sure as fuck not.
Well,
In all honesty, How to Train Your Dragon is way better in the movies than the book.
The books are weird, aren't they? They kind of start off, if I remember right, in the events of the third one, but it's way different.
Yeah.
I've heard that, and that movie is one that when I first saw it was like, oh, it's just a cute little kids movie. Watch with my kids, move on.
That
As
whole
time
trilogy
has
is
gone
great.
on, the first movie to me has become just a complete classic. Like there are very few moments when I watch cinema where I get goosebumps, but that first flight he has with Toothless, bro, with the music and everything, goosebumps every time. And I'm like, and if you guys read The Black Crown, there is a lot of Hiccup's DNA in Ragoth's character
I
DNA.
thought about that, John. I thought you were too old to have seen that movie. I didn't know your kids were of an age where they would have seen it when it first came
Yeah,
out.
the books are kind of
Yeah.
disappointing, Bernard.
Yeah,
He didn't have a structured narrative, I don't think.
Hold up, was it based on a book or was the book came after?
No,
They
it was
were based on the
based on a
book.
book series.
loosely based.
I didn't
They
know
really
that.
Very,
went
very
with
loosely.
better.
That's news to me.
But
I
this
just
is a
remember when it
nice
came out
little
when I was a kid and
gem
watched
to
it.
hang on to. The fact that, Hollywood usually takes a book and destroys it when converting it to screen. The fact that they took that and made it better going to screen, that's just write that down because it doesn't happen often.
Yeah,
No.
odd how that happens.
Oh, also, I need to give some praises to the villains in some of the books of people in here. So, John, I didn't go all the way through your manuscript, but I went a decent ways into it, and despite the short-lived kind of function of the villain in the early part of the book, it was effective, man. How F is this person here? How are they doing this? And like people barely escaping by the skin of their teeth. I thought it was really, really well done.
Christian, wait until you read Christian.
Yeah, that part where he twists it, and you start off the book thinking you know who the villain is, and you question it as you go further in. And this is what I love about John's book, is that I'm able to get into it, and I think I know where he's going with it, and twist it in such a way that I have to re-examine how I'm looking at the villain. And it's not in a woke manner. It's in just making me think. And I love that part about it, where he made me think about who I'm calling villain in this book. And I loved it.
Mm-hmm. How far did you get, Kahuna? So like, so I kind of have a perspective on where you're at with the narrative.
They had I think they had just left the God City, like that was built like up really high.
Oh yes, Arc Authority.
Yeah,
yes,
I think I just got past there. Yeah,
that was my favorite. I told myself when I was writing that book, like, I got to come up with like locations that are interesting and unique and dynamic. And I thought, what if you had this city of a city of mages that were built into the hand of a dead god?
That's so cool.
As soon as when you were writing about it, I'm like, I can see it. It's right there, man. It's so good.
Okay, so I got one for you.
What?
See.
Books that have butchered magic systems to the point they don't make sense.
Harry Potter.
I
love Harry Potter.
It never has
A
magic
little
systems
bit of a
in them.
transitional thing about Harry Potter. Slight spoilers, but the way Hedwig, when she went down in the books, I thought totally sucked. Movie version of that was far better.
Frequency. All of the endings of the books are fucking shit. They're anticlimactic as fuck in the books. I read them for the first time in 2019, and everyone was like, "All this." I think the books are pretty good, but I think every ending of every fucking book is dog shit. The worst one is Deathly Hallows. It's literally Voldemort and Harry running around in circles.
Billy Bob, you shut your.
Hold up, you're running around in
Absolutely
circles.
not.
They shoot one spell at each other, and then Voldemort just falls over dead. Boom, that's it.
Dad, you always do this.
but I was referring specifically to the change they made for Hedwig, because I thought they did her dirty in the book.
I thought I'm pretty sure that Hedwig's death is the same in the movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Hedwig,
am I
Hedwig,
forgetting?
she was sitting in a cage in Harry's lap in the sidecar of the flying bike.
That's right, yeah.
And she was, and the cage was blasted out of his lap, and she tumbled to her death.
Yeah,
in the movie, she went down kicking some ass.
Yeah, she was like poking their eyes out, but I think in the book, like having Hedwig right there, and then like him being helpless to do it, I don't know. I think they're both effective for their own way. But Aragon, books and movies, or the one movie, Aragon, the magic system makes sense at first, and then the further you go into the series, by the end you're like, wait a second, no, this doesn't work at all anymore. like anyone competent to like with this one piece of knowledge could have defeated the bad guy at any point in this story. Holy smokes.
What was the Never-Ending Story 2? They didn't know what to do with the plot, because technically he's allowed to make every wish, but he doesn't know that there's a limit on how many wishes because he's losing his memories every time he makes a wish.
Oh no.
But he just will not make a fucking wish. And then the wishes he makes are like retarded. He's wishing for every step to climb up this tower.
Jesus, dude.
Well, check it, guys. It was fun to talk, but I got to get going. I've got some more book work to do. You guys have a good evening.
All right. Thank you for coming on, John, and good luck in the book. I look forward to it.
Good luck.
Thank you all.
When your book is released, I'm going to give you a wog, like a good 40K orc wog.
Thank you, sir.
It'll be good.
Later, guys.
Was the Aragon movie?
Have a good one, and everybody go check out his YouTube channel, author Jen A. Douglas. Give him a subscription. Yes. He's really good.
Yeah,
so how bad
puts on
was
a good
the Aragon
show.
movie? I've never watched it.
I
just know my cousin loved the books and shit.
They did a couple things okay, but then it was such shit. I hated it.
Now you want to see a movie where they just totally eviscerated the magic system where it made no sense?
How's that?
I hate to say it, but Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
that movie didn't make sense at any point, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
No.
I mean, as much as I love the pure
Look at this
spectacle.
shiny tool. Look at this shiny brass ring. Look
Yeah.
at it. Look at it. Now your boy
But
looks
when-
like, now look at these shiny brass rings. How about 5 shiny brass rings? That's the movie in the nutshell.
Yeah, when it came to
Rita,
the
what
musical
hap- what-
battle,
what-
I thought the spectacle was pretty cool, but we had no bearings or basis to understand what was happening.
What happened? No Way Home happened, and Marvel shat its pants.
yeah, that's pretty. I actually like No Way Home, but
Me too.
yeah, it's
I
kind of
haven't seen that yet.
it's kind of like the Bourne Identity movies. What they did for action films. It's like because a couple of competent directors used shaky cam.
Was No Way the Home the third one? I never watched
Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I
Still
haven't
haven't
seen
watched
yet.
it.
I watched the other two, but
Well,
It's
what
be-
happened was
it's
it's a
better.
double-edged sword.
Mhm.
It's the best case scenario for a live action multiverse, crossing over all this stuff. But because it succeeded, then it made him decide everything's multiverse, which was also my greatest
Yeah,
fear.
but hold up, Readout. They were already going down that route before No Way Home.
But yeah,
They
Billy's
were-
right about that.
They were already
because they
going-
wanted
I mean,
to do Secret Wars.
Technically, In-Game, which came out before, is multiverse. They're
Yeah.
traveling to different
Yeah,
timelines,
but
but
it's
it's essentially
it's-
the same
yeah.
shit.
Well, it's multiverse light. It's not like
Yeah,
there's
It-
all
it-
these alternate
It's the
versions.
same
and-
continuity.
Yeah.
So what? And I think
well, no, it changes some stuff and never explains it. Like, how the fuck is Captain America 90 years old in the exact same timeline as them? So how did the
Yeah,
fucking
I had to
timeline
do
change
I
for
had to
Captain
do some
America
mental
never being in
acrobatics to
place?
make that work in
well,
my
that's
head.
very simple because they had General John Bell Hood from Gettysburg play his body double.
Oh,
I kid
Okay.
you not, that's who it is. They superimposed
That's
Gay
like
Chris
Otter
Evans'
has
face
entered
on
chat.
Michael Gorman's body. It's
Wild
crazy.
Otter appeared.
and he was of questionable
Fergus, as some of us
sexuality.
would like to call.
What's up, man?
Not much. Just getting some
That's true.
getting a few details worked out with before releasing this book. Really, it's been a stressful past couple of weeks, but
Aw.
I'm right at the finish line.
Otter,
Are
favorite
ready.
villain, favorite female and male villain.
Favorite female and male villain. Oh Lord, that may take a second.
A.S. Burnett, I'm going to disagree with you on the
She
books. I
go.
don't think they're as great as people think, but I do like the movies. Don't think
Otter,
they're trash.
I will join you in solidarity. All these fleshy people here, this isn't going to work. You and I, we need to rule this animal kingdom.
That's right. All hail the animal lords.
That's true.
That's why I call you a Ferget.
I may be an otter, but I'm not a Ferget.
Kobuna, I've been
Well,
a
I always
pony
thought I
since
was a
day
miss-
one.
I've always thought I was a misanthrope, but Maji informed me I'm actually a devianthrope and I could turn into a cat. I wonder
Otter.
if I can get that.
Otter, have you Otter, have
Correction, you
been
could turn
playing
into a
that
saber-toothed tiger.
Oh, you're sounding better now, Crow. You're sounding a little bit better.
There we go.
Your
Not gonna
audio's
lie,
just
that
a
Avatar
little
is
out
what
of touch,
inspired me
Stormcrow.
for Alvar's
Oh, it was way
transformation.
worse earlier.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
How about now? Wait,
Yes.
aim.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
He's coming
Okay.
back.
Okay, great. Listen, Otter, I've been trying to tease out my final villain to these guys who've been ignoring me, so I'm just going to talk to you from now on. How?
We haven't been ignoring you. You've been so we couldn't hear you through your mic.
Yeah, Stormcrow, you are yelling at your phone from across the street, man. We couldn't hear
Like
you.
that.
Also, you've been saying you've had to go for like the last 30 minutes.
Also, son,
No, I
look me in
didn't.
the eye. Look me in the eye. No.
The other eye.
This one, yeah, there we go.
There you go.
We know what you've
Oh,
been
All
doing
right,
that whole
Otter. But let me
Yeah.
be serious for a minute. You saw the photo I showed you this morning of Johnny's Come Lately. Hope you like it. Very cool. We're going to use that for the tabletop, hopefully. Miss
I'm
Snow.
perfectly fine with it.
Okay, Miss Snow, before you go away, no, Johnny Come Lately is probably a character you are going to love, I promise. Okay. And my final one, the one I always think about, and you guys heard the quote when I posted on chat, Judge Holden from Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy.
Oh, I have never read that. and people keep saying I should, and then I read the reviews and I know I shouldn't.
Well,
I've been hearing
man,
a
you
lot
gotta.
about Blood Meridian lately.
You need to trust your gut. You need to read the book, ma'am.
I need to read the book. Am
Yes,
I
you
going to
do.
cry? Is there a lot of torture in it? Because I'm the kind of person that I would play parts of Grand Theft Auto 5, but I would quit every time this torture scenes would start. I couldn't do it. I could not do
Listen,
it.
it's only one torture scene, and it's
I
not that
couldn't
bad.
do it. I could
It's
not
not that bad.
do it. No.
Miss Snow, you are Texan, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Hesitant.
Then you will appreciate this book because
Oh no.
this book is so beautiful because it strips away all of the lies that America has tried to sell us for years. It boasts everything from race relations to philosophy to warfare down to the bare bones of I want to win and you're going to lose. All right? And there's a character in this book that represents that philosophy perfectly. I think about him all the time. He is absolutely repugnant, evil, malicious, disgusting, the devil incarnate. We don't know if he is the devil, but he probably is. His name is Judge Holden. What is he a judge of? We have no idea. But let me tell you the things he does in the first time we meet him. There is a tent revival. This is the 1800s during the Indian Wars. Yeah, this is during the Indian Wars when Mexico and the U.S. government were both running down the Apaches because the Apaches were assholes. They weren't Pocahontas. I don't care what Disney says. All right. And we meet this man as this preacher is giving this tent revival. It's full of people. Their hats are off. This nearly 7 foot tall, albino, hairless man walks in. He wears his hat. He takes it off for a brief minute to wipe off the sweat. Then he proceeds to say that this preacher is nothing more than a goat fucker, a child rapist, and a liar. He has never read that book. He has only quoted a couple of verses to sell his legitimacy. The preacher freaks out because he's recognizing that this guy is a complete evil bastard, but the crowd doesn't listen to him. They listen to the guy, and they proceed to kill the preacher as the whole tent is collapsing on them. Then he goes into the bar. One of the cowpokes asks him, "Hey, so where you find that guy?" "What guy?" "The preacher." "What preacher?" "The guy you said that he screwed a goat and raped a child and all that." "Oh, that guy?" "Yeah, I never met him before. I never even knew his name." And everyone in the bar just laughs.
Crow, where are you going with this? I am so confused.
Let me tell you
That's
something.
that's the villain he was telling you about. What the villain did.
All right, guys.
I've heard a lot of stuff
real
about
quick.
Blood Meridian.
I
Still
gotta
haven't
get.
read it
I gotta
myself.
get going, guys. So peace
All
out.
right, good.
All right, thanks for stopping in, Kahuna. Good to
Take
see
care.
you.
Kahuna.
All right. On behalf of Snow, John A. Douglas, and Lord Otter.
And check out the Ultimate Kahuna YouTube channel.
Check it
God
out.
bless Kahuna.
It's serious content. Bye, guys.
Let's see ya.
All right. To wrap up the point, Judge Holden is okay. You gotta understand something. I read this book when I was 14 years old. Okay. I have never been the same since. It is Blood Meridian is.
It sounds like one of those reads.
It is absolutely brutal. It is absolutely brutal. It is merciless. This is the Wild West in the way John Wayne didn't have the balls to direct. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it represents human evil in
Perfectly.
And
Perfectly.
yes, and Cormac I can't say his name. The author, Cormac McCormick, is famously, he wrote All the Pretty Horses, and also the beautiful scenery is so juxtaposed against this horrible person.
Yes.
And so it makes this. I think that's the juxtaposition makes it hard for some people because I've read parts of it and I just can't bring myself to read it because I'm like, I know I'm not going to like some of it.
Listen,
I will read it for you. I will read it for you after I get finished with my thing. I'm going to read it.
Good. You let me know because I wanna take over this man's stream and I just want to talk to you about it because these fools just do not understand great literature when I present them to them. I always give like Trippy so specifically like excerpts and videos because I listen to this every morning, by the way, of this man speaking, right? And he is an evil character. Do not get me wrong. In a good world, he would have been shot a long time ago. But the way he speaks and the way he philosophizes, right? He has this oration and this power with language that only like true masters of the English language, can control, right?
Wasn't
get me
Hannibal
wrong,
Lecter a little
Stormcrow.
bit like that?
Don't get me wrong, Stormcrow. I'm sure it's an amazing read. It's exceptionally well written, but I'm sure it's a recommendation you'd put alongside something like Berserk. Excellent story in its own right, but it takes a certain kind of like steel stomach to actually read it. It's not for the faint of heart.
I couldn't physically read something like that.
Y'all should check out Fiendish.
All I'm saying is
I
it's a
personally tend to
recommendation
go
with
for
an
things that are a
asterisk
little
attached.
more fun, lighthearted.
Who says that it's not lighthearted and fun? For me.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I will read it as far as I can. I'll have to do it after I finish this next series because I'm finishing the series out and it'll probably be over the next 6 months. But when I do that, I will go in and I will read Blood Meridian and I'll do a reaction video and it'll probably be this way. Like that. Because in reality, what you are telling me is that the judge Holden, if it sounds like what you're telling me is true, accurately represents Lucifer when you're talking about the fact that the beauty and the light and the absolute fascination of evil and how it encapsulates beauty. And this is what makes it so terrible, that you can see something that seems beautiful and sounds good and it's actually purely evil, and yet there is something compelling about it. And we forget that evil is repugnant to us only if we are good.
Kind of sets my mind on the biblical description of Lucifer, how he was made perfect in all his ways, and he was so proud, and he was people just liked him, and so it's like after he went bad, it's like all the good, all the seemingly positive traits he was using, when really he was just corrupt inside.
When you look at the description of Lucifer in the Bible, it talks about him being God's friend, that he is the most beautiful of all the angels. And when God describes his fall, like watching him fall like a star from the heavens, this is a loss for God. That's how beautiful and how much Lucifer was valued. And when we see that when good is separated from evil, when evil loses its hold on good, there's a point where it crosses the Rubicon. But that doesn't mean it leaves behind everything that made it beautiful. And as a result, you have this thing that you will love that is so important to you, that means so much to you, and it is evil, incarnately evil, and you still want to be in touch with it. And you have to decide, is that what I'm going to do? How I'm going to live? This person's terrible for me, but I'm compelled to love them because there's so many beautiful things about them, and yet they are evil.
Yeah, Otter.
They're the ones that
really
will hurt you the
describe
most.
evil as a simple perversion of all that's beautiful and good. It can even take on the appearance of something in its likeness, but fundamentally, it's an abstraction. It's perverting it's perverting that of the natural world.
Yes.
It's a desecration.
Yeah.
Yes, desecration can't occur without beauty, and that's the thing. You can't desecrate something that's already ugly, that's already horrible. You can bring it down further, but desecration.
Then I'm safe.
You know what, Otter? I'm gonna shout out a villain for you.
What's that?
Great Mighty Pooh from Conker's Bad Fur Day.
That's a fair choice. Male or female?
I think he's technically male, ain't he?
I mean, he's a great big pile of shit.
Yes, well, women don't shit, so you know.
Oh, I see.
Man, I cannot wait.
While we're talking about villains, what are some of you guys' favorite favorite depiction of death in movies?
Oh,
Well, can
Terry
we use
Pratchett.
anything other than just movies? Come on.
Or television shows or whatever, pop culture in general.
I'm
Favorite.
going
Okay,
right
Death
out.
from Conquer's Bad Fur Day. He hates fucking cats.
How about
He's like a
Death
little
from
midget.
Discworld from the
That's
Terry
it.
Pratchett novels?
Discworld, Terry Pratchett. You stole my dude, and I love Christopher Lee is the voice on the cartoons.
So
Christopher
good.
Lee, y'all.
Well, anything Christopher Lee does, he just does very well. So
Oh yeah, it's great. I
you,
love it.
Wasn't the
you,
wolf?
you could take one of these horrible characters that was meant to be for an activist, whatever, give it
Yeah.
to someone like Christopher Lee, he'll make the character good.
Oh, that's
Didn't
right.
people really like Puss in Boots, the last one that done The Last Wish? What was it called? Is that what it was called?
Yeah, Last Wish.
Yes.
Like the wolf.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet, but I've heard that it was very well done.
I've
It
heard
is very well done.
I have to watch it.
It is very good. You guys should definitely watch it. You know?
Yeah. Is it gonna make me sad? I'm old. Is it? Am I gonna start crying? Oh no, I'm old now.
Listen, Otter, what would you rank General Surst on a scale of 1 to evil?
She's probably an 8 or a 9. She's pretty evil. Maybe not completely and utterly diabolical. I've seen a little worse, but she's pretty bad.
Well, she's not called the Bronze Bitch for nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's a reason why my protagonists do not like her.
Listen, I kept making call her the Bronze Bitch throughout when I was correcting shit.
And Otter, that's really why I've been asking these people what their favorite villains are. I want to know, what works, because I want to know what works to make my villains hateable and not relatable, but maybe like, holy shit, I really want the protagonist to take this sucker down. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think you necessarily have to go the grimdark route, just making them do the worst, no imaginable things to be hateable, but you can still show or imply certain things that make you just implicitly dislike them. Like certain little mannerisms they have or how they treat other people.
Yeah.
That will establish a lot in a very efficient time space.
Listen, basically, he's going to make Chris Chan 2.0. We all know it.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. No, we're not going to talk about Chris Chan.
Hey, you know about him?
Yes, I watch Moist Critical. I had no choice.
Hold on. Well, we put the Chris Chan discussion for the side for a moment because the Ultimate Kahuna made a post. Cool. And I think this is far more important than Chris Chan.
Yes.
I mean, yes and
then
no.
again, everything is.
If it's out of envy, then probably.
Envy? Sure.
Okay.
I mean, you've seen the artwork. Are those athletic?
Listen here. See, everyone's just confused because they don't realize his original description for her tits were athletic.
Well, in earlier drafts, I had an almost completely different idea for her. It was like the same general idea, but the execution was very different. And that was really a byproduct of earlier drafts basically being a different subgenre.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the early drafts went through quite a few changes. It wasn't until I came across the name Steel and Stormbright that it all started coming together.
Oh, yeah.
Understood. Look, I'm gonna dip out because I'm really tired, hard day at work and all that. But I'm sorry, but hey, you know what? We got something to look forward to, you and I, because either we are going to talk about Blood Meridian or we're going to talk about Christian someday. I'm more than happy to talk about both of those things at the same time. You know?
I think he's going to throw on Monkey Wrench and say Evangelion.
Oh my god.
No, that's for Rita and me. I only torture Rita with Evangelion, not Christian. I know he's a bit of a soft bitch when it comes to real stuff. I know. That's why I have to hold his hand with Evangelion. Okay.
I've always got my immortal.
Walmart. Was that
what?
I sent a picture? Was that Walmart? Wasn't that the same thing?
Seriously? I don't know, actually. I don't know. For something to really
I agree,
resonate.
Kahuna. That resonated with me. Strangest thing, that name came to me while I was on like a 30-minute walk break. It just hit
What,
me, and I
athletic
went, "Holy
hit?
shit! I
Oh,
know what
yeah.
I'm going with."
Oh, you know,
Oh, you're talking about the series name.
Yeah, not the athletic tits. Though that was a nice byproduct.
One of these days, the picture with the athletic tits is going to be an IronAge prompt.
The funniest
Before I
thing
go-
was in the
Sorry.
earliest drafts, she was not meant to be sexy whatsoever. In fact, she was meant to be unsexy.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
And always, when you fall in love with a character, they will end up somehow becoming more attracted to you, even if it's just the character in your mind.
It is
Otter,
special.
if you're falling in love with her, something's wrong with you.
No,
don't
no.
do
It changed whenever the book went from being epic fantasy to full on swords and sorcery. That's whenever it clicked with me, because swords and sorcery is filled with femme fatales, with tons of female villains who are both sexy, but they're also feared. So it's like making the best of both worlds, and that's one of the things I really like about swords and sorcery.
Hold up.
Well,
Otter, a proper femme fatale.
But what's the difference between epic fantasy and swords and sorcery? I thought the two were kind of almost one and the same.
Yeah, related.
So they're both under the same umbrella genre of fantasy, but I would compare it. Say you compared Lord of the Rings to Conan the Barbarian. They're both fantasy, but there's fundamental differences in how that story is told. Lord
So
of the
would
Rings
the swords
is more
and
about
sorcery be a little bit more street level, while epic fantasy has the more grandiose, mystical?
yeah, more grandiose. Oftentimes the
Faster
pace is a bit
pace.
slower. The book is a lot more sweeping in scale. Swords and Sorcery is a bit lower to the ground. It follows a smaller roster of characters, and the pace is a lot faster. It's a lot more action focused.
See, that is this more pulpy. I think that's
Yes,
it's
more
very
pulpy.
pulpy.
And pulp, once again, what is pulp? Well, pulp was designed to sell magazines. That's why it's called pulp. It was pulp fiction.
I agree, Kahuna.
Yeah, so you had this big, like everything had to be fast and action paced and fit into a smaller portion so they could sell this story in chunks. And so you have a faster pace with it. I think that's really the difference. I mean, I don't see why you couldn't have an epic fantasy though that had pulp. I wanted to write that into my series as an epic pulp. I don't know.
Arch, no. Most people usually do like phone book fantasy. Your giant 600, 700 page book, And it's usually going to have way more of a slower plot.
Yeah.
And pacing.
It can still be engaging, though. I mean, I actually really like the Shannara books quite a bit, and those books are huge. But I like how they're paced.
Yeah.
I wonder if my book would be considered epic fantasy or shotgun and sorcery.
I almost think yours is sci-fi.
It is sci-fi, but it's also fantasy.
You mix a lot of lore, like a lot of ancient lore in with it, but it's still more sci-fi than anything.
I think it was Orson Scott Card who said that science fiction and fantasy should be paired next to each other whenever you're perusing the bookshelves, just because a lot of them blend in together very seamlessly.
Yeah. Well, once I figured out my magic system and the physics to it, I could blend that with science, because there was, once you have a definitive physics system, you can connect it with science fiction pretty well.
See, Wrangler and I were talking, and we have a pretty similar magic system, and we didn't know we had a similar magic system too.
Cool.
But
it presents so differently.
I know, right? But it's off the same laws of physics, but that's because the science nerd in me had to go off of it. But what it is his is more of the sci-fi version of it, and mine is more of the fantasy version, but they're almost the exact same versions.
Oh, wow.
Now, have you read any of the second Magi? Or?
I'm starting to get there, but yeah, I'm kind of
'Cause
glad
you
I
see a
held
lot
off
more
on
of
that.
you see a lot more of the fantasy elements in the second.
Yeah, I've got to read your book, Wrangler. I've got to read it.
Well, I know you're cranking some books out yourself. I would assume while people are like working on the book, they're not reading a whole lot of others.
A bunch of authors together. You're like, we're all working on books.
Well, it was just
I'm
funny
struggling to
because-
complete my first book, and you're well ahead of me, RH Snow.
No, you're doing great. You're doing fantastic, and I am just so proud of all of y'all. I'm serious. Look at you. Look at your. Did you ever, in your wildest dreams, imagine that you would be an author?
Never as an author.
I'm trying desperately to be one, man. I am trying desperately to be one.
Are you kidding me? I hated reading. The fact I wrote a book is beyond normal comfort zone for me.
I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. We were there when it was corn.
I have to leave. I'm sorry, but I want to say, once again, amazing honor to be here with all of you guys, especially what you just said, ma'am. I'm just bumblefucking my way into writing a book here. I'm trying to make it good. I'm ashamed to admit that I think Twilight is better written than my stuff, but that's not going to stop me from trying even harder.
Okay, then one of the things you've got to do, and I know it's all about craft, and I know it's about working on what you're doing, but the story that is inside you is the thing. No one else has that story. You are just setting it free. And sometimes it's a real struggle. It's like giving birth. Other times it's like some people just pop a baby out. Whoop, there you go. But you are working on a living thing that is going to outlive you for the rest of your life. You will have this work. Never underestimate your ability, the story that you have. Never underestimate the ability that story might have to change the world. And when you write it, you're a writer. It's not dependent on whether or not somebody ever bought it or anybody ever said, oh, we're going to publish your book. You wrote it. That's who you are. You are now an author. You're an author. You are writing. And as long as you continue to do that and finish your work, you will forever be that person. No one can take that away from you.
Have a great night, Ram. Thanks for stopping in. It was good to see you.
Hold up.
Oh man. I really wish I could meet you guys in real life. I just want to give you all a hug.
IronCon will happen someday.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, right?
IronCon 2025.
Hell yeah.
Who's
Well,
ready for the Eastern carpool?
this
Yours
month.
truly.
Well,
Rito, if we have to stick you on a train to get you to come, you're coming.
No, you see, it's the Eastern carpool.
Aren't you allergic to oysters?
Thank you all so much.
Well, yeah.
You have a good one, Stormcrow. Get some rest.
As an otter, it's a little embarrassing to say I am allergic to oysters.
Are you?
So what? I'm gonna have to feed you.
I am actually being real with you.
Oh wow!
But not clams, right?
Yeah, so I'm gonna give them.
Can you handle clams?
Not to my knowledge. Not to
oysters everywhere.
Because if you can handle clams, you could always go for clam chowder.
Oh, that's true.
Or just smash clams on a rock like you normally would.
I don't think we have clam chowder in Tennessee.
We don't have it here in Texas. I'll tell you that. You can get it.
Man.
I mean, technically, there's mountain oysters, but I don't think you want to have any of those.
Not me. I've heard other people love them, but not me.
How about a nice chitlin sandwich?
There you go.
I'm good. However, I have had
Why
tripe
don't you get you
soup.
some spam?
That was interesting.
Spam on bread.
Spam on spam. With a side of spam.
You're talking this language here now. He loves spam.
I hate spam.
Hey, so guys, what in your writings, what character surprised you? Like an unintended character. You were writing, you needed a character for just this scene. You were planning to be a one and done. And after you had the character there, you looked down and went, wait a minute, and it turned into something major that surprised the hell out of you.
Well,
I got one.
What?
Christian. I just put him randomly in there, realized I fucking hate this character and I hate writing his part. Well, fuck you, Christian.
So that's where it comes
No,
from.
the car actually got there. There were delays. If all goes well, and I said that before, it should be done this week.
Yay!
Yay!
And then you need to steal My Immortal so everyone else can watch it.
Please support. We suffered.
Yeah.
Yes,
RH
they
Studios,
did.
you
I
need to
know
watch-
because it suffered just watching.
Yeah, you need to watch the on Herochrome Media podcast, the My Immortal rating. It's 4 parts. Have fun.
And the end of part 3 was the best.
I actually, to answer your question, Wrangler, you're gonna laugh at this. I can't give away too much because I give away a good chunk of the story. But Kikomon's inspired character.
Oh my god!
Show you. I was not expecting that.
Show me, show you.
That I can't help it. I'm kind of doing that.
I'm trying to give an answer myself without spoiling.
Well,
anything.
his name is literally Show You.
Is he really?
I spelt it so.
And now we're here.
Yeah.
You know, I could probably make a guess for your otter.
What?
It's been pretty consistent.
It's one of the love interests.
Oh yeah, you've got a point there. I was going to point to another character.
Which one were you pointing to? Give me. I'll recognize it.
He's with the villain.
Are you talking about the mage dude?
Yeah.
Oh no! I know who you're talking about. Never mind.
Yeah.
Just realized my computer was unplugged. Oops.
Come on.
I'll talk to you
Unfortunately,
after
Snow, I
about it, but
don't
I'll
know
tell you
how
why
far you
I
were
picked
in the
specifically
story. That's why I can't say anything.
the love interest. Why I picked that one for you.
I know you and one or two others have talked about her. I didn't think about it though.
Well, I think it was something you told me earlier that something was supposed to happen earlier than what happens.
Okay.
Not spoiling it.
Well, in early
Unless I'm
drafts, I had a
mistaken.
completely different ending. Completely different.
I'm fixing to get back on writing mine and get that first draft done, and then
Yeah, right.
move on to rewriting.
It's only fair that I proofread your story since you've proofread so much of mine.
You already proofread some of mine.
I don't mind
Just haven't got
proofreading
through the
some
rest
more.
of it.
Woo!
Well, what I'll probably do is I'll finish that up and just get it done. I don't even give a fuck if it reads like shit. Just get it done.
Just get it done. That's what matters for a first draft.
Yes, and I'm really bad about that. I go back over it so many times, and when I'm writing it, I go back and I'll just read a section and I'll go, wait, I don't like this. And so my first draft is usually like the 2054th draft of that one paragraph.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was my problem.
Aw.
Technically,
I've
my
been
first
on like a
draft is
stink
like
of-
my 200th.
I feel like I've gone down the formatting and business setup rabbit hole, and now that I'm actually getting back to writing, it feels weird.
Yeah.
I've been stuck for like the last 2.5 months. When's the last time I fucking wrote Otter?
It was a few months ago.
I've done that too, though. The books I'm writing, I've had like a period of a couple months straight where I wrote nothing.
But after I'm done with that first draft, I'm probably just going to move on to them short stories, Otter.
Well, what
Really?
I'm
Then go
doing right
back.
now is while I'm waiting for betas is taking a break, and then I'll go through once I have because I have Daniel's reviews. Well, he hasn't sent them yet, but he's finished. Once I get more of those in, then I'll go back, reread it, and then read their notes and see what they're saying and stuff, and then I could go from there on the fixes. But sounds like I got some fixes I got to do.
I still got to somehow include Luigi. That was one of the mistakes. They auto-corrected to
Talk to
Luigi,
Luigi.
instead of
Did it-
Loogie. I thought I spelled Loogie right, and it auto-corrected, and I was like, okay. And then Otter read it, and he's like, Luigi.
If there's one thing that makes me feel better as a writer, it's when I started reading through Huckleberry Finn. There's a little forward in there talking about Mark Twain's writing process with that book. He started writing into it, and then he shelved it for a few years let the ideas build up, and then he went back to it and finished it. And I think he was describing that period as it's like you're letting a tank of ideas fill up, and by the end, you know what needs to be done.
Yeah, it's true, because as you're putting the story together, some of the things is like very vague and haphazard. But then when you have things pulling together, you get more toward the end, you realize, oh wait, that'll connect well with this over here, and then you go through and it's just like you it's kind of like setting up a tent. You have everything laid out and it looks like a mess, but then when you go back to go through and you just put the ends all together, you end up with this nice structure.
For me, it's like I can come up with the ideas decently enough. It's just sometimes it'll take me a fair amount of time to figure out how everything connects together. That's what's not immediately clear at first.
That's how my short story started. When we done that night, that's when I came up with the entire idea for the first story frequency and all the names for the other one. I knew exactly where it was going. I just didn't know. Absolutely didn't fucking do anything. Didn't bullet point or what is it called?
Brainstorming?
No. Outlining it. I didn't outline it at all, but I just knew where it's going. I'm like, all right. I had my original idea and then started writing it. I was like, all right, this is how it's going to go.
So Wrangler knows this, but my prologue for the story was the original story. It was supposed to be short, and then it grew.
That was your surprise, was the whole book. It's like
so it was supposed to be under 20K, as for the anthology.
Yeah.
And then I wrote the prologue and went, I want to know what happens after.
Maji, I think that happened to a lot of us. Mine, I think, I was only going to have like 8,000 words. It's like 16,000 or whatever right now.
Mine was reversed. Originally, it was like 120,000 words. Now it's 50,000.
Oh wow!
Yeah, no.
The project that we're doing, I don't think I was the first one to do it, but I was pretty close. And I had this idea, and so I just slapped out the poem in like an hour and a half and threw it out there. So it's like done. Did a couple of drawings, and I was finished. And so now I feel really bad because all y'all have like novels that you've written.
All right, Snow. You can actually date. You can actually date when we started this. We have it was one of the Wing It streams. I forgot which one. Is one we fucking
Comic Shop Wednesday was.
No, it was.
That's where the idea to actually do it came from. But when it actually started, Billy Bob
was weekly winging it because I pushed all y'all to fucking do it.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, mine's at 11,522 words.
Mine's just a little shorter than yours. It's right at 11,000.
Then I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks, or maybe a little bit longer. Then RH Snow just had like an entire fucking.
And then I look at the book I'm working on right now. It's at 140,530 words.
I'm at 68,000 and it's growing.
I know.
Looking at the notes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've got. I guess I don't. Mine always come in the ones that I'm writing for the series usually come in somewhere around a 120 to 160. 160,000 words.
Here, I got something for y'all. What's a moment that you enjoyed so much you wrote in the first draft that stuck all the way to the end?
Ooh. Jeez. May have to think about that one for a moment.
I can't tell you. It's part of the story.
I can't either. It's a spoiler, but I will say the ending of my
Hold up. RH Snow. Older. Give me an older book.
Oh, from the first series?
Yeah.
The first
one
series
that
actually
okay.
the first series that I wrote, and I didn't know. I just started writing it, and so I knew kind of where it was going, but I didn't know where that book was ending, because that's actually book one was first started out as book 1 and 2 together, and so this is actually the middle of book 1 and 2 is where the Transmutation Texas ends, and so it's right in the middle of the scene. The ending scene, it just came out that way. Literally, I wrote it and it just happened. And there's almost no, there was one draft I did of it that I went back in and I sort of worked on the dialogue a little bit. But other than that, I didn't plan out how the ending of the book was going to go or anything like that. That literally just happened, and it sets up the entire relationship between the Watcher and Rose because they were the ones that had it happen. I felt like I literally I get on a horse and I just ride with my characters. And I've said this before. They are on a trip, and that's the reason the book is called a picaresque, and it's an older form of book. You go on a journey with the characters, and you listen to them talk, and they go on this adventure, and you're there with them. That's how you do it with Mark Twain and with his Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn especially, and it's based in large on those types of books. And so we just hop on the horse. I'm riding along with you guys. I literally discover what they're doing when they do it, and I just write it down. So when that moment takes place between the Watcher and Rose, it's unscripted. I haven't put it down on paper. They are talking to each other, and I am just there as a witness. And it was really crazy. And it's the first of several interactions like that will happen all the way through the series where we meet people that I didn't know were coming. And suddenly they're revealed to me. And Dominic is one that shows up, and I know him intimately because to see him come over the horizon, and I suddenly recognized him, and I knew who he was. And I was so excited because he's a reincarnation of my father. And my father's been gone since 1998. But I was writing the book, and all of a sudden this man shows up in a chair on a porch. And I almost cried because I knew exactly who he was. And I was so thrilled he had shown up for the dance. And I thought, gee, I know exactly who this guy is. And he just came out. He just showed up. So that happens over and over again in Watcher of the Dams. I just get to come along for the ride and see who comes to the adventure. And I'm just the scribe. They're real in my mind. These people are real. And I'm just here to tell you all what happens.
I love it when a character takes on a life of their own. It's like,
yes,
I'm the one writing it, and I didn't know he or she was going to do that.
Yeah, really. Do you ever argue with them? Like you tell them to stop? Like, no, you cannot do that. And they're like, shut up, I hate you. You know.
I haven't done that yet, but I wouldn't. I'm actually kind of surprised I haven't, to be honest.
There's a few I have in mind where I just want, as an author, I want to give them a little nudge in the right direction.
Aw.
A few of them feel a little lost, and I'm like, I just want to point you in the right direction, but I know for the sake of the story, I can't.
Listen, I gave her a frying pan for a reason, Frequency.
Have you guys ever just rolled dice to see how bad a consequence is gonna be?
Oh my gosh, I've never done that.
No.
I've heard
So, like-
I've heard plenty of writers doing it.
Yeah,
I have a D20 app, and then I'm like, okay, I want something to happen here. How severe am I gonna make it? So I hit the app, and that's how I determined how bad it was gonna be. Then that way, plot armor doesn't exist.
Oh yeah, it makes it a lot harder. You're allowing randomness to take place.
Yeah. I actually want to use plot armor in one of my stories, just for fun. As in, there is a ship that the name of the ship is Plot. It crashed, and someone grabs a panel from the crashed ship and holds it up to block some blasts and goes, I got plot armor.
Yay. Fun.
Well, it's only for select things, because obviously you want it to go a certain direction and stuff. But when you're just trying to think of how severe like an injury is, or if they can recover, it makes a lot more sense because it's a little bit less predictable.
Yeah, that's one of the fun things with tabletop gaming.
It really is.
Is you've got a story and the different players decide to do different things, and then how do you figure out what happens? Well, you roll a bunch of dice, and that kind of gives you lots of randomness as to what could possibly happen.
Raven, or you could be like
the character
Maji.
dies.
Yeah, you can be like Maji, who just wouldn't shut up when it came to it. That fucking Kankatu would have survived.
No.
Okay, it's all your fault, Maji. If you didn't say anything, Otter wouldn't have counted him in the blast.
I wouldn't have given you
Have a great night, Readout.
I love you.
Listen.
You're awesome, Readout. Get your card.
All right, Snow, we went through a 2-shot. Literally, almost no good guys died. If it wasn't for Maji, none of them would have died the entire time.
You all played really smart.
You blew up the ship with me on it. What are you talking about?
I mean, you were a tiefling, so
It was your idea.
you weren't
I
completely
know it
screwed.
was. I wanted to get.
Hold up. Maji misread, what was it? It wasn't immunity, it's resistance. to fire.
She likes it warm,
Maji
but not
thought she
that
was
warm.
immune.
Oh man, I can't remember the name
No,
of
the jet was
computer
flying
game.
over. It's the only reason why I muted.
Oh, jeez.
this one particular computer game. Two friends of mine and I, and every time we get together in a tabletop game, like we went to a conference thing in North Carolina, and it was just hilarious. We gave the DM a really hard time, but we ended up getting this game because we could do a co-op thing together in it and stuff. And I walk into this one room, never played this game before, not familiar with the series. I ended up coming up with like a fire mage type character.
Ah, cool.
And so I dropped some fire spell somewhere. Well, I don't realize that these barrels have different types of material inside of them. And about half this room is full of oil barrels. And so the entire room explodes into fire. Oops.
Oops.
That's how we wiped out the orc camp.
I was about to say, it
Poor
reminds me of
Crackle.
a not so little barrel called Big Mama. That
Listen, that acid splash cantrip really was useful.
It really was.
Because I got to pick anyone. I was like, oh, acid might be cool. That could be useful. It did.
What also helped was having a tiefling that
is a
that was played by someone who was a nerd enough to look up chemical composition so she could find combustible shit.
Well, to be fair, I asked what would happen. I not very smartly asked what would happen if I shot acid on gunpowder.
Well, the thing is, I as a DM did not know either. I was about to make a call, but then Maji elected to look it up, and I went, sure, let's roll with this, see where it goes.
Oh my gosh.
So I looked up the composition of black powder combined with specific types of acid and went, it goes big boom.
It goes big boom because you're doing ammonia versus an acid. Because
exactly.
People don't realize that part of the composition of gunpowder.
And then I just happen to have, a fire.
You sound like you're in the fire department or something.
Yeah.
I think we had it like turn into a gas.
Yeah, it was like a noxious gas. Anyone who breathed it had to make a save or would just immediately fall unconscious.
Oh my
so
God.
basically,
except for Trippy, who walked through there saying, "Hey, good stuff, man."
Yeah, the best way I can describe it is my character was like Jack Sparrow. They all come to save me. My character just walks out of the fucking camp, tells the tiefling, "Go boom boom."
Yeah, you
really
fire still.
All I could do was have a blast. I was laughing so freaking hard as I checked the fireball.
Oh my God.
The most fun part for me. The best part for me was actually going back to the map screen and just scribbling over that whole location because there was nothing left by the end.
You know what?
Is that the first time that's happened with that module?
Well, I'd written that about a week or two earlier. I'd prepped it up. I typically don't use modules, though I should probably do it more. But it was certainly unexpected, I'll say that much.
Well, I
you're wanting to do the Curse of Strahd.
At some point, I'd like to do Curse of Strahd somewhere down the road.
That's the beauty of when you're, and what most people don't realize, that's what we're looking for when we're doing tabletop gaming, is that experience where everything that can go wrong will go wrong, and it somehow comes out okay. And that, because when we
sounds like work.
It is. When it gets to be a chore to where you have to go this way and do these things. For instance, I wrote the module for the TTRPG for Watcher of the Dam, but part of it's just like an introductory, so I could learn how to write a TTRPG module. The whole point is to have an open world, because that way people can just go, I'm going to go here and I want to explore this thing, and what could possibly go wrong? We love what can go wrong. It's Murphy's Law. You were talking about what do we do? How do we figure out what's going on with it, like rolling dice? I always go by Murphy's Law. I say what can go wrong will go wrong. And so every time there's something that takes place that is just absolutely foobarred so much that it changes what you normally would expect to happen, because that's the way real life is, except not nearly as entertaining most of the time. Unless you're really, everything is funny to you. And then it's like me, that every time something gets screwed up, eventually it's funny, but it's what we want from our games and our stories, that element of randomness where you thought that the plot's going to go along this way. Plots cease to be predictable when they follow real life, and real life is Murphy's Law. to the nth degree, and yet it makes sense in the story. And that's what happened to you on that game. It literally blew up, and it was like the most fun you've had in years. It destroyed the world, and it's still the most fun you'll ever have.
That's one of the reasons why I never understood a lot of DMs who run these games that are quote unquote serious, because, like you said, the randomness of the dice, it's naturally gonna produce some unexpected results, and that's kind of the basis of humor a lot of the time.
Like Billy Bob Sack chucking dynamite at the boss over and over and over again.
Yeah, one of the fun things that we had was one of the characters was a wild mage, among other things. And so one of the fun things with that was just as he cast spells, there was a possibility that he would cause some weird effect to happen, and you'd roll in this big, large chart of various different things. Sometimes, like we'd be in this combat situation, are we going to die? And instead of the spell going off, he farted. And then there's another time where he cast another spell, and it was a fireball, and it just happened to get permanency on it.
Oh my gosh.
Oops.
And so yeah, there's just this fireball that exploded, and it's permanently now an enclosure.
Get yourself some marshmallows. You got a permanent energy source right there.
It's like the Centralia fire. It shall be forever. It's just there. Oh, I'm supposed to ask you, Billy Bob Sack, about the Shalar thing. What is this? What is this? I'm having to try to read this tiny print on my phone. You see me staring at it. I have on readers.
You're saying to ask Otter.
Oh, Otter, tell me about this Shalar business. Come on.
Oh, we're going that route, huh? Okay.
Yes, we are. Billy Bob Sack told me I have to ask you.
Well, Shalar, that is Billy Bob Sack's character in that game. He is a brothel owner. And following that game, he kept asking me questions about how his brothel ran, just little bits here and there. It kept going and going. I went, all right, Billy Bob Sack, just to appease you here, I'm going to write you a whole document of all the resources you have, everything that goes on there, along with a waiver for one of your clientele. Okay?
Oh my gosh.
All right. There you go. You happy with it? Cool. That's your business.
Oh, so you managed to help him run.
And then he tried to hire Maji to work there.
No.
Yeah,
my character said no.
Bad. You can't do that to Maji. She's too pure and good for all of you.
No, my character was trying not to blow up the ship when her experiment came involved.
All right, Billy Bob Sack, you're gonna have to answer this one. There's another little part of that game
Hold
that
up.
ended up coming along.
I did not hire her. Hold up. I did not try hiring her for that type of work. I hired her because she's good at working with shit, building and stuff. Okay, that's a great asset.
That
also,
he
my
asked
character's
where
name
the
is
dynamite came from on my outfit.
I was kind of wondering that myself.
You also got arrested, Shalar.
Yes.
Yes, my character, my character is a black high elf.
He's the only one that
got
the
only character to get arrested in the entire game. I call racism,
I didn't even realize it until I was going to get food after the game. Then I put two and two together in my head, and I just nearly died from laughter. I went, oh shit, not this.
Oh my god.
Christian, all you gotta do is send me a link and I'll beta read it.
Yeah. Sweet. I want to see it, but I gotta finish this next book first. But send it to me. Well, like
you heard the queen.
I've got 20 million. I've got James Craig. I've got Monchi. I've got John Douglas. I've got I've got who else? Oh, I just did Nick from Phoenix Press. I got that one done. So this is like so hard. It's so hard. I'm trying to get it.
The only thing, Christian, is you got to talk to me in voice chat after I read it because I really don't like typing and texting.
He's writing a book report.
I'm excited to check out Johnny Douglas's book. I have a feeling it's going to be really good.
It's cute. It's really, I loved it. I thought I'm about halfway through it, and I've loved it so far. So I've been very happy with it.
Yeah, I'll really have to check it out.
Andrew Campbell, I believe this question is directed at Ultimate Kahuna, correct?
Yes. Yes, he's gonna have to tell him.
I'm excited because doesn't Andrew Campbell have stuff in Anvil too? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I think he might.
Yes,
I think he does.
Yes, yeah. Andrew Campbell's famous. You're famous, Andrew. Hey guys, I gotta go feed my people. They're actually waiting. They have a dinner thing, and they're afraid to come in when I've got the stream. They're dying of hunger. I love you guys. It's been fun tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming out. It was good to see you.
Thank you for letting me come in, Wrangler. Because I'm like,
anytime.
No, I try to come on whenever I can. I've got to do Andy Pritchard's and Moon's stream too, and I feel guilty when I miss y'all because I feel like I'm letting you down. But I love you.
See ya.
Good. I love you. I will see you later.
See ya.
Have a great
See ya,
night.
RH Snow.
Thank you. Go live your life.
7,000 words ain't that long.
Yay! I can't wait to read it, Campbell.
Just send it to me, Christian.
All right. Yeah, she was saying how she made tabletop RPG based on her world. We see Black Knight does it with the Star Shatter universe. I hope to do it with my own someday, but ultimately, I still want to make it a game. But
I want your potato gun.
I do too. I want to play this game so bad, but I'm not. I used to say, I went around saying my book is the world's most elaborate pitch for a video game. However, maybe not. Because TJ Marquise has one that's based on the video game that was in his head. So he kind of did the same thing, and he came up with Bloodbane, Quest of Lance. And I went into the Kindle thing that lets you read like the first few chapters right here on the website. I read that, and I am interested. And it was very much a lot of inspiration from Castlevania, but this book looks like it's going to be pretty cool.
It's pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Oh, you read it?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I read what I read. I read what was available. I read what was available on the website. Only so many pages, and I'm like, yeah, I'm adding that to the list once I get back into reading.
I read that as well, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely getting this. I picked it up, and I had a lot of fun because he goes through, and it's kind of like the characters leveling up with different things. So it's definitely got a lot of like game elements in it, and he picks up different gear along the way. He picks up like a translator so he can talk with certain ones,
I like how we were starting off with just his tools of the trade from being out there working.
Yeah.
At least it isn't a cis later.
I'm going to go over the blurb here real quick. It says, what a horrible night to be invaded by psychos from the 65th dimension. Lance Cutfield just wants to get home to his wife and daughter, but in his way stands a legion of once men, blood sorcerers, and countless foul creatures infesting the wilderness. Lance must use his working man strength and every tool at his disposal to bring the fight to his foes. Little do these Bane-born know they've chosen a predator for their prey. Quest of Lance is a pulpy, gamelit adventure with very light RPG elements. Elements in this book. Classic NES game stories start with a fast pace. Not so subtle nods to Castlevania series, but with lots of variation. Surprise alliances, a good gear-based progression system, lots of combat, light crafting, subtle notes of Resident Evil and Metroid. Whoops, I hit a button and it all shifted on me.
Orbs, I'm going to have to assume. That sounds a lot like my manospheres. Copyright infringement.
But yeah, he
got to protect those manospheres.
You damn right.
Orbs. The infinity orbs.
There is a crafting system in there, and he goes through and he crafts some things and stuff because, whenever he's initially starting off, I think he's got like a chainsaw and a shotgun or something.
Yeah, it was the extended chainsaw and the pole chainsaw.
Yeah, but they end up like he ends up running out of gas and he ends up running out of bullets and stuff, and the crafting machine thing basically uses whatever stuff he has on him, so he's able to end up converting that extended chainsaw thing to a sort of like a large spear thing, and he constantly, as he picks things up, he's able to have the craft machine like integrate stuff more together and stuff, and build up and expand his gear.
Nice.
You know
I
who
hope
we
that-
got to get on
another
here?
one I hope gets converted into an actual game. This sounds like it'd be a blast to play.
It sounds like it'd be a really fun game.
You know who we need to get on here?
Who?
Guilty Gearhead. He's been our fucking biggest supporter since the beginning.
Yeah, right. I have tried a few times. Guilty. You ever want to come on? You know you got the open invitation.
I
Well,
talk
peer
with Guilty
pressure.
Gearhead here and there in the chat. He's always a cool dude.
Yeah. But
see him in race
if he's
streams
not
all the
if he's
time.
not up for being on screen, I get that. I was not fond of coming in front of a camera for quite a while. Still
Yeah, you
kind
don't
of
want DSP
that
it,
sounded so bad.
Technically,
It is. I still get nervous when I turn these things on. You know.
I'm flash frozen in front of a camera. Can't you see I'm holding perfectly still?
Yeah, it's pretty good. That's pretty good control
Ge-
right there.
I know. It
Says
took years
maybe
of practice.
someday.
Giggity.
The ultimate kahuna says Guilty Gearhead is a man amongst men, and he is a kahuna of woo. Giggity.
Isn't Kahuna a wise man?
Yes, I think he said that a few weeks ago. He finally looked up kahuna since he was using the name. He was like, oh, I meant wise man. Oops.
Thank you for giving me inspiration for a new story. Wise Man Kahuna.
You saw his name tag on the screen tonight, right? It said wet kahunas.
Wet kahunas.
I missed that.
Well, he was dry by the time he left, but he was wet when he came on.
Yep.
The kahuna of woo. I can't do the woo like you do, dude.
The woo kahunas.
The kahunas. Dictionary definition, but the reality of it is a kahuna is a master in any given field.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Except being a perfect stepson.
It's kind of equivalent of meister or guru or.
Yeah, I think so. That makes sense.
I always thought it was more along the lines of like shaman, but I guess not. That's what I get for making assumptions, though.
Yeah, well,
They never go right.
different people say different things, and so you assume some people are more intelligent than others, and so they might be right and stuff, and then you find out later you're wrong.
Like this person?
Jewish space lasers.
I still can't get over the fact that that's a congressional address. I know I say that almost every time.
I can believe
That's just
it.
bad.
Well,
Next
it
up
bears
on
pointing out
Spaceballs.
because you don't want it to become normalized at this absurdity. You don't want people to go, "Oh, this is absurd," but that's just the way it is. No, you want people to go, "That ain't right."
Well, do realize that one of them like pulled the fire alarm the other day and didn't realize that it would set off the fire alarm.
Didn't Biden try to say that a 9mm like blows up your fucking lungs?
I don't know.
I don't
He
know.
tries to say a lot of things, but
It
I don't think
shoots
they
it out
come
of
out
your
right.
body.
Oh, well, it's even better because there was a representative or something at one point that said, what are the dang it, my brain is gone. The rounds that end up incendiary rounds were heat seeking. I was like,
What was it? They were trying to say the AR-15 shoots a fucking 50 caliber bullet.
yeah. Yeah.
It was like, oh, Brandon Herrera is probably gonna die from a stroke. From all the just getting pissed off all the time when he gets into Congress.
Oh yeah, I hope he wins.
You'll shoot. You'll
He'll shoot your lung out.
Yeah.
Because he's pretty far along in, what is it, version 3 of his 50 caliber.
Is AK-50?
Yeah.
Or not AK-50? It was
Yeah, well, I think that's what he's calling it.
Whatever
The last video I saw.
I think his last video was like a month ago where he was updating why.
Yeah, he
what
had
went
to have a
wrong.
lot of parts like sent back to whoever created them to have them remachined or something.
No. He didn't send them back. He got the parts and they were like, "Oh, this is completely fucking shit." And then he ended up getting lucky, and then another company went ahead and got the designs and shit and made them for him, so he didn't have to take as long.
Yep. But yeah, I think it was over the weekend while they were trying to pass the one bill for spending stuff, and the brilliant guy trying to get in to be able to place his vote pulled the fire alarm, causing the entire building to be exited. It's like, oh, I didn't know that's what that would do.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I think he done it on purpose.
Yeah, well, he was a principal of a school, and probably one that lots of kids...
so he's probably never seen one of them before.
Yeah. Yeah, and
he also can't read, but he's a principal. Makes sense.
Of the illiteracy department.
I think there's a sign right in front of that door that says something about fire alarm and such.
He's probably like, fire alarm, just what I need right now. I need to delay this crap.
Yep.
I'm about ready to fall asleep on you guys, so I'm gonna...
Yeah, let's do part
plugs. I think it's time to do part and plugs anyway.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to rush you guys, but I'm
actually I was about to say it anyway. So
yeah, we're running late.
There's been more and more of us filtering out as time has gone on.
No, I don't want Jimmy Kimmel back. Actually, I got somebody better you can check out. Check out Richard at IronAge.media. He's got some cool indie stuff going on there. He's about ready to release Anvil. Well, he's about to mail out Anvil 2 and release Anvil 3 for pre-order. Always new prompts, new stuff to check out, new stories. He's ever evolving his website, so yeah, check him out. He is way more entertaining, or well, the whole IronAge media crew is way more entertaining than Jimmy Kimmel.
Nice. Otter.
Well, my debut novel, Steel and Stormbright, The Curse of the Star Raids, is just about out. It will be coming out on Sunday, October the 15th. If you would like to see what else I write, I have a blog page called Downstream Pulp, where I write reviews, short stories, and the occasional essay.
Nice. Raven.
Yeah, through trying to get the house sold, I'm trying to put together some stuff. I've been doing some experiments with dividends and such, and I'm probably going to be posting something about that on Minds soon.
You know what you should take an example? Watch that scene from Step Brother.
Which scene?
Where the brother's trying to sell the house and they're dressing up as like a fucking Nazi KKK member. All right, for me, Kaplaw. Subscribe to my Only Gremlins, Athletic Tits, something snake. Frequency.
All right, I just want to shout out James Esparza's World Without End. He's got Terror at the Gate, a new spooky story for the Halloween season. Check it out at worldwithoutendlore.com, I think. I said that all wrong, but the link is in the description below.
I think this is the one
If you
I
enjoyed
beta
this
read.
presentation, what's that?
I think this is the one I beta read. It's pretty good. Check it out.
Cool. If you enjoyed this presentation, hit the like, and if you didn't, appreciate you stopping by. We'll see you next time, and God bless.
Yes, AS Burnett, when Steel and Stormbright comes out, get
His book. I did Liz's book. And while you're at it, buy Herman's book.
Buy the book.
Buy the book, buy the book, buy the book.
Buy all the books.
Buy all the books.
Read all the words.
Which book? Steel and Stormbright? Herman's book? Yes.
Jewish space lasers.
Bad kitty. My
Have a
cat
great
just
night.